So the first lecture that we had in the CAI by my professor Dr. Prashad was data analysis with artificial intelligence. It was a very insightful lecture, and I'm going to read out it. So the data use 2.5 trillion bytes of data every day. The challenge is no longer collecting data; it is the challenge is making sense of it. And in the ocean of data, AI is most powerful lighthouse and navigational tool. So she pointed out that there are two pillars of data. So type of data analysis as was told qualitative versus quantitative. Quantitative is numbers. AI is collaborator and never a replacement. Quantitative data analysis. Descriptive statistics, purpose for frequencies, cross-sectional descriptive, the prevalence studies. Central tendency, mean, median, mode. Dispersion, range, mean deviation, variance, standard deviation. Normality of data skewed or normal is shown in quantitative data analysis, descriptive statistics. Inferential statistics are for hypothesis testing with correlation or interventional studies. Parametric correlations, test of significance. Non-parametric or association correlation and test of significance. Factor analysis with SPSS or AMOS. Regression analysis with SAS or SPSS and meta analysis with STATA. These are the top areas. Steps in quantitative data collection and analysis. Okay, there are different tools. ChatGPT, Julius AI, Ask CSV, DeepSheet, Slash AI, Excel Copilot, 365 Microsoft, Power BI Copilot, Google Sheets with Gemini, JS AI, SPSS, Syntax Assist, StrataGPT, Slash R Assistant is experimental tool. ChatGPT. Description is that upload CSV or SPSS file and it will perform descriptive or referential statistics, write APA style interpretation, and makes graphs. Julius AI is a web app for instant statistical analysis. It executes correlation, regression, and visualization with no coding. Ask CSV is browser-based AI. Answers up to 5 queries a day are uploaded CSV, ideal for cross-tabs or studies. Ask CSV. DeepSheet is AI spreadsheet interpreter. It handles Excel or CSV, unlimited queries, scan, plot, and interpret results. DeepSheet is free. Slash AI is web for numeric plus visual interpretation. It accepts CSV, Excel, produces figures and written interpretations. Excel Copilot Microsoft 365 is a built-in generative assistant. It explains data, detects trends or outliers, and builds pivot or tables or charts. Power BI Copilot is a conversational BI analytic. It is natural language query, short and test sold by ear, like the command can be given to Power BI Copilot. Google Sheets and Gemini are AI assistants in Google Workspace. They give question and answers or data, automatic charts, and summaries are also there. Glass AI or SPSS Assist is AI guided stats platform. It explains output such as suitable depth and generates text. While Stata GPT are R assistant experimental and it generates add-on and converts natural language requests to statistical code pattern or regression. So we were given insights into AI tools for quantitative data analysis, Excel, Ask CSV, and DeepSheet. Quantitative data analysis and interpretation using artificial intelligence of AskCSV.com. Developing a CSV file from SPSS or Excel, but only 5 questions per day were answered in Ask CSV in the free version. In quantitative data analysis and interpretation using Splash AI at AI/.me/ it interprets other files in addition to CSV. There are 5 free credits and it can develop figures as well. DeepSheet.dylancastello.co interpret an Excel file in addition to CSV. No question limit so far in the free version of DeepSheet, and it can develop figures. Unfortunately, when you enter only DeepSheet, you may come across so many fake websites, and you have to exactly enter this address given here. Otherwise, you will land somewhere in the deep sheet. So how should GPT analyze quantitative data? ChatGPT has a 3-step process. It receives your user prompt, user input data analysis request. Second, it processes with Python, which execute analysis using the libraries of Python. And third is it presents results through displaying statistical summaries and visualizations. So sample output is statistical summary, mean, median, standard deviation displayed in table. Data visualization is scatter plot showing correlation between variables, and interpretation, brief explanation of results and its significance. Protecting privacy in AI-driven data is very crucial, and you have to anonymize your data through removing identifiers with name, addresses from datasets before putting them, subjecting them before analysis. Use pseudonyms to replace identifiable information with coded identifiers and aggregate data that is good data to obscure individual identities. So ChatGPT versus Julius AI for quantitative analysis, comparing two AI platforms for data analysis. Programming language of ChatGPT is Python for analysis, while Julius AI chooses between Python and R language. AI models ChatGPT, best model is 5.0, and Julius AI options GPT 5, Gemini, Claude 3, and others. So about the practice data, this is the downloading data and generating data. This is variables and values. This is individual units of analysis and data set, for example, P1, P2, P3. And then variables are the characteristics and concepts made for each case. Continuous variables are age information, satisfaction information, stigma perception, willingness to disclose. Categorical variables are gender, employment status, and diagnosis. Values are assigned to actual data, each variable for each case. For the variable age, some values are 21, 30, 45, and for gender, values include male, female, and other. And for variable information satisfaction, values range from 1 to 5. So quantitative data analysis and Excel handout has been shown. You can see that what are the variables being tested. In this Excel handout, descriptive statistics describing cases, variables, values, and relationships between them. About continuous variable age, mean age in the data set is 41.1 years as in the above. Histogram age distribution is shown. Continuous variable age with mean 41.1. It has the frequency of different age ranges. You can see in this histogram. It is categorical variable genders, majority were female, number is 50. Because of the other gender, females have crossed the male population, and there are 50 females. Gender distribution of the participants. Employment status categorical variable, and you can see the distribution in pie chart. So if you give the prompt, can you show me the values for employment status frequency? In addition, create a pie chart to show the distribution, and it did this, and it showed so beautifully. Qualitative data analysis technique is content analysis with the word frequencies, quantification, thematic analysis most commonly used, framework analysis, theoretical models, narrative analysis, and stories, phenomenal analysis, phenomena, discourse analysis for content, and thematic analysis techniques. ChatGPT upload transcript or interviews for auto coding and thematic clustering. Key features are that it generates initial code summaries, codes by theme, and supports Boole and Clark framework. Claude 3.5 handles long transcripts and documents, context-aware coding, narrative summaries, and concept mapping. Artificial should be looked for Claude 3.5. And Vivo AI Assistant is a built-in Lumivio in Vivo AI-driven auto coding, thematic clustering, word clouds, and sentiment tagging. For Atlas.ti AI coding, intentional AI, classic CAD costs with AI plugins, auto code larger corpora, suggest emerging themes, extract sentiments, and codes. Max 2D AI Assist is a next generation CAD with Gen AI integration, like chatting with your data, generate summaries and codebook suggestions. Dovetail is a web-based qualitative platform. It auto transcripts with theme and sentiment taking, AI summary, and dashboards. Notably is research synthesis workspace. It auto highlights sentiment analysis, clustering platform, data detection. And QDA Miner plus WordStat Pro Alice is a text mining suite. It combines qualitative, quantitative text analysis with dictionary and topic extraction. Transcription plugins, YouTube Summary AI, Auto AI, WhisperX, daily transcripts for qualitative input, auto segments, speaker turns, ready for ChatGPT and Vivo upload directly. And in the last, Perplexity AI or Binge Copilot is good for conceptual framework or literature, mapping and retrieves and summarizes relevant qualitative literature. Qualitative data analysis tools, text, transcripts, and so here is an example of thematic data analysis. The question is, compare this ambulatory care rotation to other clinical rotations you have taken. What special contribution, if any, did it make in preparing you to become a physician? For example, knowledge, clinical competence, career development. Example of thematic data analysis transcription. The independence allowed me to gain more confidence in my clinical skills. The hurried pace helped me to become more efficient. Gave me a good start at learning to prioritize in a clinic visit of a finite time period. Outpatient management of disease is not really addressed in any other rotation. Also, the sheer number of patients really allows you to hone your H&P skills and gain confidence in patient interaction. This is also the only rotation where you see the administrative side of medicine. So these are the two different responses, and then the thematic data analysis is applied. And in initial coding, independence, gain more confidence in my clinical skills, hurried pace, learning to prioritize in a clinical visit of a finite time period is initial coding in the first statement. Outpatient management of disease is not really addressed in any other rotation. Sheer number of patients, you hone your H&P skill, gain confidence in patient interaction, and administrative side of medicine are initial coding in this paragraph. So the classification is then done. And in curriculum theme, outpatient management of disease not addressed in any other rotation. Educational experience, independence help increase confidence in clinical skills. Quick pace helps to increase efficiency. SA administrative side of medicine. So these are coded by EI, EE, and EA. Outcomes, gain confidence in clinical skills, CC. Gain confidence in patient interaction, CI. Learn administrative side medicine, OLA. OSE, learn to become more efficient. OSPR, learn to prioritize in a clinic visit. OSPX, improved physical examination skills. Classification 2, rotation attributes contributing to student learning. AP, quick pace. AL, independent work. Student knowledge, KA, clinical administration. KO, outpatient management. Student skill, SH, home skills in H&P. SP, learning to prioritize issues in clinic visits. Student attitudes, AC, increase confidence in patient interaction. Utilization of AI and qualitative data analysis software or manual analysis. Otter AI, ChatGPT, and Atlas.ti for qualitative data analysis. And steps in qualitative data analysis can be accessed through interview or focused discussion as on YouTube, ChatGPT, and Atlas.ti. QDA exercise, YouTube transcripts are here. You can see there is a transcription of all the videos where you can access the transcripts. YouTube can give you the transcript here in this tab as shown, and then you can take your transcript and you can copy the transcript to MS Word for manual data analysis or to import it to the software. You can also copy it to ChatGPT or Binge AI or Perplexity to use AI for qualitative data analysis, but not more than 3,000 words. Google Chrome or Safari plugin for translation is also there. YouTube and article summary powered by ChatGPT can be added to Chrome. You can see that it can help you qualitative data analysis with ChatGPT. Atlas.ti and NVIVO can help you qualitative data analysis, and these are the main tools for using AI. Another important topic, AI in research and education. So what is artificial intelligence? It is basically a computer system for performing tasks that typically require human intelligence, problem solving, learning, decision making, and understanding natural language. Narrow or weak AI focuses on specific tasks. Chatbots, medical diagnosis tools are weak AI. While general or strong AI, the world has been ripped apart by generals, a hypothetical form of AI with human-like reasoning, creativity, and adaptability across domains. It doesn't exist yet, but is a research tool. For example, AI doctor, AI teacher, and AI generals, general AI. Generative AI, recent advancement where AI creates new content, text, images, videos, codes, used mostly by South Asians these days. Artificial intelligence types and examples. I am myself a South Asian, so don't worry. It was just to make it to memory. Okay. Artificial intelligence types and examples. Narrow AI, chatbots, Siri, Alexa, ChatGPT. So we wrote ChatGPT, but it is ChatGPT. General AI is a strong AI, which is hypothetical. Generative AI is ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Narrow AI may be used in medical diagnosis, IBM, Watson, Health. General AI may be used as AI teacher for all subjects, while generative AI may be used for Dell E, Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, Images, Code, GitHub, Copilot, and Video Avatars. Synthesis AI being increasingly used across Facebook these days. Swarm filters are narrow AI, Gmail AI. And general AI, strong AI is a fiction. Jarvis and HAL 9000 is general or strong AI. So AI may enhance efficiency, personalization, and innovation by application in writing, analysis, simulation, and teaching, and acts as a partner in learning and discovery. Why do we want to use AI? We want automation of repetitive tasks, data-driven decision making, personalization and adaptive learning, speed and efficiency, innovation, and CEW capabilities. Education. AI tutoring systems provide 24/7 support. They don't sleep anytime. They able to use AI to prepare content and grade essays. 92% UK students use AI for assessment. Business, 78% companies globally use AI in at least one function. Generative AI adoption has reached 71% in firms. AI assisted customer service and decision support. Healthcare, AI reads medical images with high accuracy. Debatable, but there is increasing intrusion. Hospitals leverage AI for patient admissions for costs. AI aids in drug discovery and patient support. Society and governance, AI is used for traffic management and fraud detection. AI models monitor climate and optimize energy grids. AI tools empower those with disabilities. That is a useful thing. AI for research. Literature search and review, illicit.org, Research Rabbit, Connected Papers, Cite AI, Semantic Scholar. Automates literature review, maps related study, analyze citations. Example using research extract study outcomes on AI in medical education from 100+ articles. So for reference and knowledge management, Zotero plus Zotero GPT and NoteClick, Scholar C manages references, summarize and organize readings. Scholarly convert a 20-page article into a summary flashcard. For data analysis, when you're doing quantitative, IBM SPSS modeler with AI features, Rapid Miner, Orange 3, WEKA are used for predictive modeling, machine learning, based data analysis, and building a logistic regression model to predict the student performance as an example of this work done by these for data analysis in quantitative research. For qualitative data analysis, in vivo AI coding assistant, Atlas.ti with AI features, ChatGPT assist coding will help with coding, clustering, and theme development. And as an example, AI suggests initial codes for 30 interviews transcripts. Writing and drafting. Write full Grammarly Go Kill Board Trinka improves clarity, grammar, and academic phrasing, and write full checks manuscript. Summarization and knowledge extraction, Scholarly, ChatGPT, Claude Gemini condenses long text, extract key findings. ChatGPT generates a structured summary of 10 RCTs. Publishing and peer review, Turnitin AI detection, PubPeer AI, history reviewer finder, which ensures originality, detects anomalies, matches reviewers, and Turnitin flag sections with a high AI return probability. Visualization and concept mapping. Visualization and concept mapping is done by Connected Papers. VOS Viewer AI clustering and dimensions.ai. They create citation networks, thematic maps, and VOS Viewer clusters keywords from 500 abstracts. That is a huge visualization and concept mapping. Research integrity and ethics, Turnitin draft course, image twin. PubPeer AI, they will detect plagiarism, image manipulation, data irregularities, image twins, spots duplicated microscopy images in a drafted paper. There are specific AI tools for education. So there are some of them, we will discuss them one by one. So if you want teaching and content creation, ChatGPT, Copilot in Microsoft and Google Gemini, they will generate lesson plans, case studies, and lecture notes. And a teacher can ask ChatGPT to create 3 patient cases for PBL in a CVS module. Interactive learning and tutoring. Khanmigo, Khan Academy AI, Duolingo Max, and Coursera AI Tutor. They can provide adaptive explanation and conversational practice. Khanmigo explains photosynthesis at different difficulty levels. Student engagement and quizzes. By Quizzes AI, Kahoot AI, Quizmaker, and Socratic, Google. They create quizzes, interactive games, and support inquiry-based learning. Quizzes AI auto-generate MCQs from any subject. Assessment and feedback. Gradescope AI, Turnitin, Draft Coach, ETS, E-Rater, and Criterion can do automated grading, plagiarism check, and writing feedback. Gradescope grades assignment with AI-assisted rubric. Personalized learning by Century Tech, Squirrel AI, and Newton. Learners analytics, adaptive pathways, remediation suggestions, and example is Century Tech identifies a student struggling with algebra and assigns extra practice for that particular student. Writing and language support, Grammarly, Quillbot, and Writeful improve student essays, clarity, academic writing. And example is Writeful gives real-time feedback on students' feedback. Learning management and prediction. Moodle AI plugins, Canvas, Intelligence, Brightspace Insights, predict dropout risk, tracks engagement, recommend resources. Moodle AI predicts which students are at risk of failing a module. Student support and chatbots. Ivy.ai, AdmitHub, Replica for mentoring support. AI chatbots for frequently asked questions, admissions, well-being support. Example is Ivy.ai answer 24/7 student question about course registration. Accessibility and inclusion. Otter AI, TurboScribe, Whisper AI, speech to text. Seeing AI provides transcripts, captions, text to speech. Whisper AI will transcribe lectures for hearing impaired learners. So the global usage of AI tools is growing. ChatGPT 60% market share. Overall chatbot adoption, Claude of Socratic, Bard, Gemini, ChatGPT and Copilot, DeepSeek. ChatGPT has about 400 million weekly users. So this is hundreds of million users. So AI in education and research search, 66% ChatGPT use. 2 AI tools are used by students on average. Literature search, review, and writing. And they use AI tools like elite schools, they use them. AI is used in healthcare and health education, and K-12 teaching and higher education. Generative AI chatbot market share. ChatGPT clearly outsmarts Copilot and Google Gemini, Bard. And active users at the moment, Meta AI followed by ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, and Claude. App download share, ChatGPT followed by DeepSeek, Gemini, and Copilot. ChatGPT has ahead of fastest growth, followed by Gemini, Claude, and Meta AI. So AI chatbots, the top is ChatGPT, followed by Gemini, DeepSeek, and Perplexity and Claude are the shareholders in equal amount. So OpenAI says it has proof its tools are making workers more productive. So it also has great role in learning and upskilling, writing and communication, programming, data science, and maths, creative ideation, business, analytics, and even translation. It's Sunday and early morning, 6 a.m. And we are going to discuss a very important, extremely useful AI prompt engineering. What is prompting? Process of giving instructions, questions, RQs to an AI model like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini to guide its response. That is called a prompt. It's basically like a conversation starter, R command, which tells AI what role to take, what task to perform, and how the output should look. The better and clearer the prompt, the more useful and accurate the AI's answers will be. So the basic thing is asking the right way in prompting. As it is said that if you want something, ask for it. It is as simple as that. But the right way for asking is a skill, crafting instructions that help AI give meaningful, relevant, and structured answers, and no bluffing. So we use which frameworks and why they matter. Clinical Listening Framework, SOAP, SBAR, to structure patient care, prompt framework structure, AI interactions for better outcomes. The cognitive load theory correction. Unstructured prompts will lead to high cognitive load and poor AI performance. Structured prompts will reduce ambiguity and give precise, relevant outputs. As professional education, we need AI that maintains clinical accuracy, respects cultural contexts, follow ethical guidelines, and adapt to diverse learning needs. What are the key elements of a prompt? First is instruction. What you want the AI to do. For example, you want it to summarize this article in 100 words. Second is context, background or detail the AI needs. Example, you are an expert in medical education. Third is format, how the answer should be structured. Provide the result in table with columns, single code and quote. And constraints, limit the word count, style or audience. Explain in simple terms for first year medical students. There is a joke that someone gave that explained it as if you are explaining it to a donkey. And that was very funny. But the constraint has to be put whatever one's like the constraint. What are the prompts frameworks? Prompt frameworks, the complete toolkit. When you need comprehensive detailed output, give structural frameworks. For example, RACE, role, action, context, expectation. RACE, URA, define the role. Action, what has to be done. For context, and I expect, expectation. You fill in the blanks of these greenish bars. Example is, you are clinical skill instructor. Action, design a 3-station OSCE on cardiovascular examination for context, third year medical students in resource limited setting. Expectation, I expect clear rubrics, timing, and equipment lists. Best for curriculum design, assessment creation, and role play scenarios. Other is trace, task, request, action, context, example. This trace template is task that request by action within context, similar to example. So write a literature review section that synthesizes telehealth effectiveness by analyzing 5 recent studies within rural healthcare context, similar to systematic review methodology. It is best for academic writing, research synthesis, manuscript development. Crisp, clarity, relevance, iteration, structure, precision, ethics template is best for quality assurance, peer review, and content validation. Crisp, clarity, relevance, iteration, structure, precision, ethics template is example. Evaluate this dash content for clarity, relevance, structure, precision, and ethics. Suggest specific improvements. Example, evaluate this patient case study for clarity of presentation, clinical relevance, logical structure, diagnostic precision, and ethical consideration. Suggest improvements. Quality assurance, peer reviews, and content validation is achieved through this crisp format. The CoStar framework is context, objective, style, tone, audience, and response. The CoStar framework context provide background information to help AI understand the specific scenario. Objective clearly define the task to direct the AI's focus. Style specify the desired writing style to align the AI's response. Tone set the tone to ensure the response resonates with the required sentiment. Audience identify the intended audience so the AI can tailor the response accordingly. Response define the format of the response to get structured, useful output. So here's an example. I work in a non-profit organization in the context, and I have been asked to write an electronic direct mailer informing people about climate change objective. I write this in the style of popular lifestyle publication style, keeping the tone informal and friendly. Tone. This will be read by audience residing in Pakistan. Audience. I need this to be about 350 words long, broken up into paragraphs of 100 words each, and with a call to action to sign up for the newsletter response. Minimalist frameworks for quick effective interactions are one of the examples is tag, task, action, goal template. Tag, task, action, goal, task by action to achieve a goal. It is best for quick service checklists and brief for contents and, for example, summarize key components, summarize key competencies for rural family medicine by extracting main points to create a study guide. RTF, role task format template. Role task format template is a role task in format. It is for professional correspondence and formal documents. As a program director, write a recommendation letter for a designated informal academic format. APE, action purpose execution template. APE, action purpose execution template is best for patient education material and quick reference guide. For example, is create visual infographics for patient education about diabetes management through simple icons and bullet points. Reflective frameworks for professional development and critical analysis are like CARE, context, action, result. CARE is basically best for teaching, portfolios, CPD documentation, and reflective practice. CARE, for example, in a challenging bedside teaching movement, I use the 1 minute preceptor model resulting in improved student confidence. For instance, when teaching art Barber's assessment. So it is clear context action result example. Another one is STAR simulation task action result template that is best for leadership development, problem solving, and documentation. STAR format, for example, is situation, low student engagement in online lectures, task, increased participation, action, limit interactive pose, and breakout rooms result 80% participation increase. Sphere, situation, problem exploration, action, result template. Sphere is best for critical incidents, complex problem solving. In our simulation lab, equipment failure emerged, IX load, backup options, and alternative scenarios implemented, low fidelity alternatives achieving full session completion. Narrative frameworks for storytelling and persuasive content. BAB, before after bridge template. BAB is for change management and implementation stories. initial state before, desired state after, bridge transition process. For example, before, traditional lectures with passive learning, after, interactive case-based sessions with active participation, bridge, visual implementation of problem-based learning is BAP, BAB, before, after, bridge template for change management and implementation stories. There is another format, AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action template, attention, hook, interest, relevance, desire, benefit. Action, next step. For example, action, medical errors cause lives, interest, simulation training reduces by 60%. Desire, your students deserve the best preparation. Action, join our simulation workshop series. This is best for grant proposals, conference presentation, and market. We have another format, problem, education, solution, template, problem, issue, education, consequences, and solution, intervention form. It is used best for public and for policy advocacy, needing assessment, needs assessment, and problem identification. So, PAS, problem, education, solution. Example is problem is that medical students lack cultural competency training. Education, this leads to health disparities and poor patient outcome. Solution, integrate community-based learning experiences. Advanced techniques for complex reasoning and multi-step processes. Chain of thought, content. Chain of thought is take step by step, step 1, 2, 3. Step 3 and therefore conclusion. This is the chain of thought. Chain of thought is used for complex planning, systematic design, and logical reasoning. An example is that design a clinical reasoning curriculum step by step. Number 1, identify learning objectives. 2, map to competency frameworks. 3, select appropriate cases. 4, create assessment rubrics. Therefore, ensuring systematic skill development. Now you can see you can give a step by step chain of thought template, and the complex planning and systematic design and logical reasoning will follow. Generated knowledge prompting template is first generate background knowledge, then use this to make tasks. What it is used for? Generated knowledge prompting is used best for knowledge synthesis and comprehensive planning. For example, first generate a list of key cultural considerations in mental health care, then use this to design a cultural competency training module. Another template, react reasoning acting template, best for evidence-based practice, iterative improvement. Reasoning, students struggle with clinical decision making. Action, implement case-based learning. Observation, improve critical thinking. Source, reflection, active learning, enhance clinical reasoning. React reasoning and acting. You can see the template, reasoning, analysis, action, implementation, observation, result, and reflection learning. So smart framework selection is requires a quick decision. And when your primary goal is quick information, you go DAG, RTF, and AB. When you want complex planning, you go for ACE, TRACE, and CORD. When you want professional growth, you go for KFSTAR and SPEAR. When you want persuasive content, you go for AID, AB, AS, and DAP. You want for quality assurance, you go for CRISPE. So this is the summary of the prompts that you get to go with, depending upon what is your primary goal. There are some advanced prompting strategies like prompt chaining, link multiple frameworks for complex tasks. Like step 1, use ACE to define role and context. Step 2, apply CORD for systematic reasoning. Step 3, implement CRISP for quality check. So this is linking multiple framework for complex tasks, and it is so beautiful. The essential 5, master these first. Raise role-based structured task, take quick simple requests, care professional reflection, CORD complex reasoning, and CRISP for quality evaluation. The fantastic 5 or essential 5 or master 5. The 5 framework families review. Structural, raise, trace, CRISP for complex detailed tasks. Minimalist, tag, RTF, AP for quick efficient requests. Reflective care, start, SPEAR, professional development. Narrative, ADA, PAS, BAF for storytelling and persuasion. Advanced, quality generated knowledge, react, and complex reasoning for these, and these are used. There are some emergency copy paste ready prompts like quick summarize topic in 5 key points for audience. Role assignment, URA, role, action for context. Step by step, explain step by step how to finish task. Quality check, evaluate this content for clarity, accuracy, and ethics. These are emergency prompt, copy paste ready prompts. Prompt crafting in action, 3 real examples. Example 1, the curriculum designer. Challenge, design a cardiology rotation for agent. Poor prompt. Problem, 2A, no context, no outcome specified. This is not a good, no excellent prompt would be like this. Race and CORD, you are experienced cardiology educator and curriculum designer. Create a 4-week cardiology rotation for internal medicine trainees in a tertiary care hospital setting. Think step by step. First, identify core cardiology competencies for internal medicine. Second, name competencies to weekly learning objectives. Third, design clinical experience and assessment. Fourth, create a balanced schedule. I expect weekly learning objectives aligned with ACGME competencies. Mix of inpatient, outpatient, and procedural experiences. Assessment methods and schedules. Resource requirement and constant. Context: 50-bed cardiac unit with 2 attending cardiologists. Get lab access. Residents rotated pairs. 80 hours work week limits. Why this works? It gives clear role, specific context, step-by-step reasoning, detailed expectation, and realistic constraints. There are no out-of-the-world constraints in this. Example 2, the assessment creator. Challenge, create practical exam without resource and Denzewoski. Smooth prompt, create an exam for critical skills. It will lead no result. However, an excellent prompt will be traced and crisp. Trace task, create innovative practical assessment for physical examination skill. Request design resource efficient alternative to traditional OSCE. Action, develop hybrid assessment with virtual patient and peer evaluation. Context, 120, 30 year medical students, limited faculty type. Assess cardiovascular respiratory and abdominal examination skill. Example, similar to virtual OSCE models but with inpatient components. This is the trace prompt, and the crisp is for evaluating your design. Clarity, assessment format clear to student and faculty, question mark. Relevance, assess intended critical skills, question mark. Structure, logically organized, question mark. Precision, specific variable criteria, question mark. Ethics, fair and accommodating to diverse learners, question mark. Include rubrics, timing and implementation steps. Why this works? Complete task definition, built quality evaluation and specific deliverables. Example 3, the reflective educator challenge. Learn from a difficult teaching problem. 2 prompt. Excellent prompt is care plus PR. Here, help me reflect using SPEAR framework on this teaching challenge situation during bedside round. A student challenged by antibiotic choice in front of the patient problem. Appropriate academic question, inappropriate timing or setting potentially undermine patient confidence. Exploration, how to encourage critical thinking while maintaining professional boundaries and patient trust. Action, what specific strategies should I use next time? Question mark. Result, what outcome indicates successful handling. Care, context, contributing factors to the situation. Action, what I will do differently next time. Result, expected positive outcomes. Example, specific scenarios for future similar situations include consideration for patient care, educational value, and professional development. Why this works? Use a complementary framework, specific situation, requests, actionable outcomes, context specific recommendations. In health professional education, we are planning curriculum, we focus on race and can't because role clarity and step-by-step logic. Our research strategic choice and because they are comprehensive context and quality driven. Teaching reflection, care and experience focused and deep analysis. Student assessment, star and test, structured evaluation with quality assurance. Grant writing, AIDA plus DAS was always a structure with problem forms. Policy development, DAS plus content problem identification with logical reasoning. There are other advanced crafting of prompt techniques. Taking one is the layered approach. Start with basic framework and layers. Basic framework is arranged this role action, context and expectation. Cultural layer, consider diverse population. Plus ethical layer, ensure patient privacy and context. Plus practical layer, account for resource limitation. Plus evidence layer based on current best practices. So the layer direct technique. The second technique is constraint challenge, a realistic limitation for practical solution. Designed with these constraints, maximum 2 hours faculty time. Budget rupees 500. Space one classroom and 40 student and technology. Laptops only. Technique 3 framework combinations. So you can go for prompt quality checklist before submitting by prompt. Verify the 5 essential elements. Role clear who AI should be. Context specific situation and constraint. Outcome defined success criteria. Format request output structure. Ethics privacy and bias consideration. Quality assessment. Rate 1 to 5. Clarity is request specific and unambiguous. Context is the background complete and relevant. Actionability are outputs implementable. Completeness are requirements included. Ethics are considerations addressed. So the total score of 425 and 20 to 25 is excellent, ready to use. If 15 to 19 good with minor refinement periods, 10 to 14 is improvement and below 10 needs start over for quality checklist. So you have prompted tablet copy and customize for curriculum development, for assessment criteria, for professional reflection, for innovation projects, and for counter mistakes low wide. The generic request trap, the context-free problem, the one-size-fits-all issues. Don't use same framework for every task. Do make framework to task complexity and purpose. The constraint blind mistake. Don't ignore practical limitations and do include realistic resources, time and space constraint. Pro tips for medical education prompting is that always include learner level, year experience background, learning objective, clear variable outcome, context, extent, resources, time, cultural factor, competency alignment, UFB, BFD, CACG, MEL, CME are relevant standards, ethical considerations, privacy bias, cultural sensitivity, framework selection strategies, simple task, minimalist frameworks, tag, RTF, AP, complex learning structural frameworks, race trace, professional growth effective frameworks, clear star spear, innovation or change narrative frameworks, AID, APS, and ability per step, problems, advanced technique, content, react. Success formula is excellent prompt is equal to right framework with a rich context, with clear expectation and ethical awareness. Quick reference card, framework selection guide, quick task, tag, RTF, AP, complex projects, race, trace, code, reflection, clear star spear, persuasion, AID, APS, and BA, quality check with post lecture checklist. Review the 3 detailed examples, identify your top 3 for frameworks for common tasks, complete the quality checklist practice. Ethical guidelines are frameworks using AI. UNESCO recommendations on ethics of artificial intelligence 2021, the first ever global standard for AI ethics, formally identified by finally adopted by all member states, aims to ensure AI serves humanity, society, and environment. Responsibly UNESCO 2021 recommendations. There is guidance for generative AI in education and research updated in April 2025. This guidance offers a human-centered approach to implementing generative AI, Gen AI, in learning and research environment. HEC has its own as a framework for ethical use of generative AI, and this policy lays out how higher education institutions in Pakistan can responsibly use Gen AI tools like GPT-3, ChatGPT for teaching, learning, research, and research. HEC policy balances innovation with ethical standards, focusing on transparency, fairness, data privacy, academic integrity, and explainability. Transparency, disclose AI involvement, fairness, mitigate bias, accountability, human remain responsible, data privacy, protect sensitive information, academic integrity, avoid plagiarism, ensure originality. So addressing misconceptions. AI will replace teachers. While reality is AI is a tool, it will assist educators, it will help teachers, and it will never replace them. Key takeaways. Key takeaways are that AI is the best thing to use in proper frameworks with a better prompting and ethical responsibility. So we will discuss ethical concerns in AI. Many of us use AI tool in our daily life. But the main thing is that ethics should be considered. AI is now scheduled in teaching, assessment, and research. AI model influence decision affecting learners. Rising concerns of unfair grading, plagiarism, and data misuse. UNESCO ethics must guide every stage of AI deployment. HEC in Pakistan, AI use must ensure academic integrity, transparency, and student safety. So, how can educational institutions leverage AI responsibly while ensuring fairness, transparency, accountability, and human dignity? UNESCO framework, AI in education, human rights and dignity, inclusiveness and equity, fairness and non-discrimination, transparency and explainability, responsibility and accountability, data privacy and protection, human oversight and control, and environmental and societal well-being. So, proportionality and do no harm. Use of AI systems must not go beyond what is necessary to achieve a legitimate aim. Risk assessment should be used to prevent harms which may result from such uses. Safety and security. Unwanted harms, safety risks, as well as vulnerabilities to attack security risks should be avoided and addressed by AI actors. A right to privacy and data protection. Privacy must be protected and promoted throughout the AI life cycle. Adequate data protection frameworks should be established. Multi-stakeholder and adaptive governance and collaboration. International law and national sovereignty must be respected in the use of data. Additionally, participation of diverse stakeholders is necessary for inclusive approach in AI governance. Responsibility and accountability. All AI systems should be auditable and traceable. There should be oversight, impact assessment, audit, and due diligence mechanisms in place to avoid conflicts with human rights, norms, and threats to environmental well-being. Transparency and explainability. The ethical deployment of our AI system depend upon their transparency and explainability. Explainability T&E. The level of T&E should be appropriate to the context, as there may be tensions between T&E and other principles such as privacy, safety, and security. Human oversight and determination. Member states should ensure that AI systems do not displace ultimate human responsibility and accountability. Sustainability. AI technologies should be assessed against their impact on sustainability, understood as a set of constantly evolving goals, including those set out in the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Awareness and literacy. Public understanding of and data should be promoted through the open, accessible education, civilian engagement, digital skills, AI ethics training, media information and literacy. and fairness and non-discrimination. AI actors to promote social justice, fairness, and non-discrimination while taking an inclusive approach to ensure AI's benefits are accessible to all people. It is April 3rd and 2026, and today we are going to discuss the HEC AI policy. What does the HEC of Pakistan say about AI? So the guidance is that AI must not replace learning. It may assist learning. You have to disclose use of AI in your assessment. It is mandatory. AI generated work cannot be submitted as original work. There is a strict stance on data fabrication. AI generated literature used without citation is not acceptable and should not be done. Universities must develop AI policies, plagiarism detection, and training. Ethical approval is required for AI use in research involving human data. So what are the ethical domains in AI? Privacy and data protection, bias and fairness, transparency and explainability, academic integrity and misconduct, copywriting and equity and access, human AI collaboration and accountability and governance are main issues for ethical domains in AI. So, and there is what the ethical domain here. AI penalized students with access. This was a bias. Teacher upload exam questions in ChatGPT. That is the problem with privacy and integrity. Students submit AI generated thesis chapter. That is a misconduct. All students commonly use AI. They will use it for brainstorming or outlining ideas, getting explanation for critical concepts, drafting emails or basic templates, language support by grammar clarity, or grammar and translation, generating practice question of quizzes, coding, help, or debugging with understanding. These can be helpful, but now let's look at where things go wrong. So, common types of misusing generative AI. When students submit AI-generated assignments or essays, use AI to solve exams, quizzes, or graded tasks, fabricated or AI-invented citations, incorrect or misleading AI-generated references, creating fake database, datasets or duplicated data, uploading personal confidential or participant data into AI tools, blindly trusting incorrect or biased AI outputs, using AI to write literature reviews or thesis section, referencing through AI to bypass plagiarism checks, generating false interview transcripts or qualitative data, AI enhanced manipulation of images, charts, or figures, letting AI complete group work or team deliverables, hold dependence on AI for basic learning tasks, using AI to derive research gaps, problem statements, or framework, AI misuse in writing emails, reports, or reflective tasks, using AI to generate clinical or scientific explanation without verification, sharing exam items or confidential materials with AI platform, using AI as the primary source instead of reading original literature. So when you start, is the generative tool used? And if yes, is the declaration of AI generated tools? If yes, cite AI contributions. If yes, use them for academic purpose, proposed in section 6. If yes, plagiarism check as per the prevalent HEC criteria. If yes, when plagiarism understanding statement added. If yes, compliance with existing copyrights and IP laws. And if yes, final check by supervisor as per HEC criteria. And if no, review project, thesis or report, and reassessment by the supervisor is recommended. Individual responsibility of students is action to be taken by concerned committee. Ethical concern and bias and discrimination. So there can be bias that assets biased learning analytics. AI grading disadvantages non-native English speakers. Gender prompts result in stereotyping. Predictive analysis reinforcing inequalities. UNESCO principle is fairness and non-discrimination. So there are different ethical concerns regarding data privacy and security. Cloud-based AI storing student queries and personal data. Learning platforms tracking behavior without consent. Plagiarism checkers storing manuscripts. AI-powered proctoring flagged dark skin, disability, or headscarves. UNESCO principle is right to privacy. And HEC says that student data sharing must be consented and secure. Third ethical concerns is academic integrity and misuse. Examples of misuse are ghostwriting by ChatGPT, fabricated references, phantom citations, full essays written by AI without understanding, students are bypassing cognitive efforts. HEC says that the undisclosed AI use is equal to academic misconduct. Fourth ethical concern is hallucination and misinformation. AI creates false citation, fake quotes, produce fabricated data tables. Students may report incorrect medical or scientific facts. Researchers risk in valid conclusion. Researchers submitted a manuscript with 20 AI generated fake references and was subjected to rejection and investigation. Authorship and accountability. Can AI be an author? No. Plain no. AI lacks responsibility, cannot approve final manuscript. Journals disclose prompts, version, tools used, and UNESCO human accountability is not non-negotiable. Ethical concern number 6, human replacement debate. Fear of losing teaching jobs, reliance on automated grading or chatbots, reduction of human empathy in education. AI should augment, not replace teachers. UNESCO ensure human oversight for this human replacement debate. Ethical concern 7 is equity and access. Paid tools create inequity. Students in rural low-income communities are left behind. There is a digital literacy gap. There is a risk widening achievement gap, and UNESCO is inclusive for all. And AI should be inclusive AI for all. HEC says promote equitable access across all Pakistani institutions, all students. But groups of students in Pakistan are most at risk of being left behind. Obviously, we all know the answer. Ethical concern 8 is intellectual property and copyright. AI trained on copyright textbooks or journals. There is risk of plagiarism, no ownership clarity on AI generated images and text. Reprint servers flooded with AI written submissions. Transparency and explainability. Black box algorithms, unclear logic, automated grading lacks rationale. Adaptive learning tools make hidden decisions and students may challenge grades due to lack of explainability. Can we trust AI generated grade without explanation? The answer is probably no. Research ethics. AI generated fake qualitative transcripts using AI to modify or fabricate datasets. Image manipulation using generative AI. Literature use fully AI generated violates each EC policy. Lack of documentation of AI steps. Poor reproducibility. There are some case studies. Case study 1. A student used AI to generate entire interview transcripts for a qualitative study. It was noticed there were identical phrasing and realistic quotes, no metadata or audio files. Outcome was the held with research misconduct inquiry. Where in your research workflow could misuse happen? How will you prevent it? Case study 2 is AI based grading. A university used AI based grading for English writing. Students from minority language backgrounds consistently scored lower. When manually reviewed, many had been unfairly penalized. Should AI be used for grading at all? Under what safeguards? Provision obviously, and Free of chance for everyone. Third case study is a postgraduate student using ChatGPT to summarize 40 papers for summaries included studies that did not exist around sample size and misinterpreted findings. So the boundary between assistance and misconduct. Privacy breach in class. A teacher asked student to rewrite reflection and submit them to an AI tool. The data was stored on external servers. Later on leaked. Students were not informed. So external AI tools should be checked before any use. We have overviewed the ethical AI framework. There is a mnemonic is RAISE. There is R for responsible use, A for attribution and transparency, I for integrity and honesty, S for safety, security and privacy, and E for equity and hallucinations. You should give one promise for today. What you will do when you use AI. The conclusion is AI offers immense opportunities. Ethical concerns must guide its integration. UNESCO and HEC framework provides structure, but human judgment remains central whenever you are using AI. Your role as a person is to use AI smartly, critically, ethically. So that is all. Thank you. In this session, curriculum innovation with AI. Oh, I'm so sorry for the bad screen visibility, but that is the content already organized and I can change it. So what is the use of AI? Creates personalized learning pathway tailored to individual student needs and abilities. It can streamline grading and assessment, keeping educators focused on impartial assessment and impactful education. Enhance student engagement in interactive and adaptive content that responds to learners' progress. Support diverse learning styles and paces through AI-driven adaptive learning, fostering inclusivity. Prioritize better academic outcomes by aligning teaching methods with student-specific needs. So, how we unlock education with AI tools. Machine learning predicts student behavior and personalizes learning resources for tailored education. Natural language processing NLP enhances language learning and powers AI writing assistants to improve communication skills. AI chatbots provide instant answers and simplify administrative tasks, boosting student access to support services. Unlock curriculum excellence with free and freemium AI tools. Empower educators with AI-driven support for content creation, engagement, and classroom management. ChatGPT Freemium enhances content creation and simplifies complex topics to support student understanding. Quizlet creates flashcards, quizzes, and learning games to reinforce student knowledge and retention. Google Classroom streamlines classroom management through easy communication, assignment distribution, and grading. Canva for education designs engaging posters and infographics to enhance presentation and learning material. Empower teamwork with collaborative AI tools. Harness panels, boost creativity, organize projects, and track progress in group activities. Tablets, interactive boards visually stimulate idea sharing and brainstorming, making collaboration intuitive and engaging. It enhances teamwork by improving communication, fostering transparency, and supporting seamless project planning. Transforming education with AI integration. How AI-powered tools revolutionize teaching and learning outcomes worldwide. Personalized learning experiences using AI-driven platforms tailored to students' needs. Automate administrative tasks to increase efficiency and reduce educator workload. Facilitate interactive and immersive experiences through AI-enhanced tools. Demonstrate AI transformative potential to enhance both teaching models and student outcomes. Upcoming, overcoming key challenges in AI education. Privacy concerns over student data require strict safeguards to maintain trust and comply with regulators. Many institutions face a lack of adequate infrastructure, limiting AI's effective deployment and access. Over reliance on AI risks reducing vital human interaction, which is essential for holistic education. Addressing these challenges demand ethical planning and sustained support to ensure AI enhances and not replaces teaching. Unlocking AI power in curriculum development. Adopt these practices to ensure sustainable AI adoption and maximize educational benefit. Invest in ongoing professional development to build educator AI skills confidently. Combine AI tools with traditional teaching to enhance, not replace pedagogy. Personalize learning pathways to address diverse student needs effectively. Unlocking AI impact in education. AI transform curriculum development and classroom management by boosting personalization, efficiency, and student engagement. Educators should explore AI tools through thoughtfully balancing technology with effective pedagogy. Open question and answer sessions invite participants to ask questions, share experiences, and discuss practical implementation strategies. Unlock continuous growth with AI resources. Encourage your teachers or empower your teaching by exploring expert blogs, vibrant communities, and in-depth courses that drive innovation and insight. AI education blogs offer timely updates and expert perspectives to deepen understanding of AI's evolving role in education. Professional communities connect educators to peers and thought leaders for collaboration support and sharing best practices. Online courses provide structured learning paths to master AI concepts and apply innovative strategies in curriculum design. Suggested readings deliver deeper insight into AI trends and effective curriculum innovation methods to keep educators ahead. Efficient curriculum mapping. Leveraging AI to optimize curriculum design and competency alignment. Automated curriculum design. AI analyze educational content and align it with learning objectives, meeting international standards and accreditation requirement. Mapping competencies to content. AI ensures course content aligns with key competencies such as critical skills, medical ethics, and patient care, maintaining consistency across modules. Identifying gaps in curriculum. AI detects underrepresented areas like critical thinking or diagnostic reasoning and suggests additions to strengthen the curriculum. Data-driven curriculum evaluation leveraging AI to analyze performance and enhance learning outcomes. Analyzing student performance data, AI can analyze data from assessment quizzes, exams, and clinical evaluation to identify trends and areas where students are struggling. This data can be used to refine the curriculum and make the informed decision about which topics need more focus or modification. Predicting student outcomes, AI can use past performance data to predict future success rate, allowing educators to modify the curriculum or teaching strategies to improve student outcome. Feedback loops for improvement. AI tools can provide real-time feedback to instructors, helping them identify whether the current curriculum and teaching methods are effectively helping students meet learning objectives. Content creation and curation. Content generation, AI can assist in generating medical content such as case studies, quizzes, and scenarios based on real-life data. This can be especially useful in creating clinical scenarios for medical students to practice diagnostic reasoning. Curating relevant resources, AI can curate and recommend learning resources, for example, research articles, videos, clinical practice guidelines based on specific topics to the curriculum, helping students access up-to-date evidence-based information. Virtual patients and simulation, AI can power virtual patients, allowing medical students to practice diagnostics and treatment in a simulated environment. This helps bridge the gap between theoretical knowledge and practical application, especially in complex medical conditions. Interdisciplinary integration, connecting medical disciplines through AI to enhance collaborative learning. Interlinking medical disciplines, AI can help in integration of various subjects like anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, and pathology to ensure that they are connected and reinforce each other throughout the curriculum. Collaborative learning, AI can help medical students collaborate across disciplines, creating interprofessional learning opportunities by integrating content and assessment from multiple areas like nursing, pharmacology, and clinical practice. AI-based learning platforms like Khan Academy, Coursera, and Meded Portal curate medical content and track student progress. AI tools for competency-based assessment, OSCE, and virtual patient simulators simulate clinical case decisions and assess clinical reasoning skills. Curriculum management software tools like Zytos, XYTHOS, and Blue by the Labster creates dynamic curriculum maps, ensuring competencies and objectives are met. 12 tips to harness the power of AI for curriculum mapping. First, navigate changing accreditation requirement. LLMs are capable of standard alignment analysis to identify substantive changes, map related standards, and detect modifiable, edit, remove, or change requirements, and analyze the impact on compliance needs when accrediting agencies revise guidelines. This application reduces the time required for curriculum map updating by 2 working days. Mapping additional competencies to the curriculum is the second tip. AI models can analyze how to embed novel competencies such as critical area present in healthcare into existing curricular maps using Kern's framework. The use of the model reduced faculty time to outline and initial approach by 50%. Concepts to targeted need assessment. Curriculum keywords mapping, AI can systematically map a list of keywords to content embedded within curricular objectives to identify the inclusion or dependency of a specific subject. Strategies like using a persona pattern and integrating the keyword list directly into the prompt improve efficiency and reliability. A4 is map training. Here, specific competency-based objectives for rotations. AI models can assist educators in drafting progress, competency-based goals, and measurable objectives by training your PG of year 1, 2, and 3, specifying increasing responsibility with finalized objective that met accreditation standards or completed within an hour, demonstrating AI's efficiency. Define accreditation requirements, competencies, and content description to educational learning objectives. LLMs can summarize, generate, and evaluate content features from institutional specialty or licensing content. List alongside learning objectives. This process is useful for conducting a curricular gap analysis to identify content features falling outside existing objectives. Using the AI model reduce the time required for review and appropriate thinking by over 50%. Tip 6. Restrict the LLMs to a specific knowledge base when aligning requirement or educational research to institutional or assessment methods. By configuring the LLMs to reference uploaded standard and educational research like learning concepts related to structured verbal feedback, educators ensure recommendations are precisely aligned, prompting the AI to provide exact section numbers and page references, streamlining the verification of alignment and accuracy. So we will discuss further 6 points later. These are the first 6 tips. We were on to the control steps, educational methods, and tip number 6 was to restrict the LLMs to a specific knowledge-based when aligning requirements or educational research to institutional or assessment methods. Tip 7 is the use tables for comparative analysis and developing educational strategies. LLMs can generate comprehensive comparison tables declining different instructional measures, detailing different instructional measures, for example, self-directed learning, simulation-based learning, advanced critical factors like learner autonomy, cognitive load, scalability, and faculty resource needs. This digestible format supports evidence-based decision-making by faculty. It is mapping best practices and educational matters to goals and objectives. LLMs can link active learning strategies, which promote better retention to specific learning objectives, especially when new approaches are difficult to envision. Although LLMs generate novel ideas and save time, human review is essential to ensure accuracy and feasibility. Concept 5 is implementation, and there are 2 tips as well. Here are the same. Tip 9, map faculty development needs to curricular objectives. AI models can review objectives, for example, those stressing interprofessional collaboration or system-based practice, and suggest areas where faculty may require additional training or resources. This process provides an initial framework to align faculty development with curricular demands, bridging a common gap in systematic need assessment. You can create an implementation plan and checklist. LLMs can generate a comprehensive implementation guide and checklist rooted in Kern's framework. This proactive approach saved an estimated 32 hours of faculty and administrative time by anticipating and addressing implementation design elements such as temporal organization, resource requirement, and risk mitigation. Tip 6. is evaluation. The map on the right multiple success map to specific learning objectives. LLMs are effective tools for MCQ generation. Educators can produce precise, high-quality MCQs by constraining the model to specific learning objectives, learner characteristics, and required level of Bloom taxonomy. For example, application of knowledge. LLMs reduced the time required to write a single MCQ by 80%, although human oversight is must to identify any inequalities. 12th is aligning programmatic evaluation with accreditation requirements and programmatic objectives. LLMs can function as an idea-generating collaborator to co-design framework or improved assessment strategies for foundational companies such as system-based practice. Utilizing a single prompt to generate an assessment framework saves faculty 4 hours involved in generating ideas and organizing novel approaches. The output framework can include multiple assessment methods like direct observation, written assessment, and simulations. So, unlocking the power of Google Classroom. Free and easy-to-use platform centralizes assignments, resources, and communication to one digital space, enables efficient management and tracking of student progress, enhances classroom organization and streamlines communication, seamlessly integrates into existing teaching networks, accessible from any device supporting learning environments, empower educators to focus more on teaching and less on administrative tools, empower student enrollment in Google Classroom, streamline, where you will invite students, send invitations by email, or share unique class code to connect students instantly. After that, students will accept and join effortlessly by accepting invitation, ensuring quick access to their classes. You will manage multiple classes and oversee all classes and monitor enrollment status efficiently through a centralized dashboard. Mastering activity management in Google Classroom, create, assess, and communicate seamlessly to boost student engagement and classroom efficiency. Create assignments with precision, add clear due dates to keep students on track and meet the deadlines, attach detailed grading rubrics to enhance transparency and fairness, upload necessary resources and instructions directly within the assignment. Second, integrate quizzes via Google Form. Embed quizzes seamlessly, streamline student assessment, use forms, automatic grading to save time and provide instant feedback, customize questions to align with the lesson objective and learning goals, post announcement to engage students, share timely updates and reminders to maintain classroom connection, use engaging language to encourage participation and attention, and pin important messages for easy access throughout the course. Master Google Classroom with a live demo. Learn step by step how to create and set up a Google Classroom. As students seamlessly assign tasks, gain hands-on experience with the platform's intuitive interface and build confidence using digital tools to transform your teaching. Thank you. So, when and how to disclose AI use in academic publishing. AAME Guide number 192. It's a very good article on generative artificial intelligence, and we will overview what are the roles for disclosing AI in harnessing.
Information we're living right now because it's need to kind of from its frame is a really important concept that they call establishing a fairer footing.
A fairer footing. What does that mean in this context?
Well, what's fascinating here is that this concept addresses a long-standing structural imbalance in global research. Because the predominant language of scientific, medical, and educational literature is English.
Right. It's an English first club.
Exactly. So if a researcher is operating out of a university in the global south or just any region where English is not the primary language, they face an immediate steep disadvantage.
Because they have to translate everything.
Right. Their actual research might be methodologically flawless, but if the phrasing in a manuscript does not match the specific and honestly often rigid stylistic expectations of a Western English language journal, they face a much higher rate of rejection.
It's totally unfair. It's like asking people to run a marathon but telling half the runners they have to wear heavy boots because they are native English speakers.
That's a great way to put it.
And the native speakers get high-end running shoes. Generative AI is suddenly offering those disadvantaged researchers the running shoes. It translates, it smooths out the syntax, it just bridges that massive linguistic gap almost instantly. But is it fair if we then penalize them for wearing shoes?
Well, what's fascinating here is how the analogy holds up. The running shoes analogy works for grammar, but it kind of breaks down when we look at the underlying logic of how these models actually operate.
Okay, how's that?
Because a running shoe doesn't change the path you run, but an LLM might subtly change the actual argument a non-native speaker is making, just to sound more like Western English-centric research.
Wait, really? It alters the argument itself?
Yeah, because these models are trained heavily on Western data. So when a researcher asks the AI to just, polish their English, the AI isn't just fixing subject-verb agreement, it is often rewriting the text to match the semantic patterns of its training data.
Oh, wow.
So the tension here is whether we are actually helping these scholars express their perspectives, or if the AI is inadvertently erasing their cultural voice just to make it palatable to an English-speaking editor.
That is a critical distinction. The tool is acting as a cultural filter, not just a grammatical one.
Exactly.
But assuming the researcher is carefully managing that filter, the AI is undeniably democratizing the actual writing process for a lot of people.
It absolutely is.
So if the AI is doing so much of the heavy lifting, like it is brainstorming the ideas, structuring the methodology section, and doing the translate, a lot of people are asking a very logical question: why don't we just list the AI as a co-author on the paper?
Yeah, and that debate flared up immediately after the release of ChatGPT. Some early papers actually did list ChatGPT in the author block.
I remember seeing a few of those.
Right, but international guidance bodies moved incredibly fast to shut that down. I mean, the Committee on Publication Ethics, the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, and major academic publishers like Taylor and Francis all issued strict guidelines prohibiting the listing of AI tools as authors.
I want to push on the logic of that prohibition for a second. Let's play devil's advocate.
Sure.
If I'm an executive and I hire a highly skilled, brilliant human ghostwriter to draft a 50-page annual report based on my notes, I review it, I sign my name to it, but we still acknowledge the ghostwriter's existence, they get paid, they get a nod.
Right, they are acknowledged.
Well, an AI is basically untiring ghostwriter. If an AI writes 90% of the text in a scientific paper, refusing to name it as an author, kind of feels like human ego. So what does this all mean? Are we just protecting our territory?
It's a fair question, but defining authorship strictly by who generated the most words fundamentally misunderstands the legal and professional function of a byline in scientific literature.
Okay, how so?
The prohibition against AI authorship really has nothing to do with technical capability or human ego. It is entirely about scholarly accountability.
Accountability.
Right. When you put your name on a published piece of research, you are assuming legal, moral, and professional liability for every single claim in that document.
Right. If there's a mistake, you have to answer the emails when someone finds a flaw in your methodology.
Exactly, and it goes much further than just answer emails. You have to formally approve the final manuscript. You have to legally declare any conflict of interest.
Which computer obviously can't do.
Precisely. If it turns out the data in the paper was fabricated, or a patient was harmed because of a flawed clinical recommendation published, your reputation, your career, and potentially your legal standing are on the line.
That makes a lot of sense.
A machine cannot bear liability. You cannot fire an algorithm. An LLM cannot manage a conflict of interest. It cannot feel professional shame, and it cannot be held legally accountable for fraud.
Right, because it is a piece of software,
Yeah.
not a legal entity,
Right.
so you can't sue ChatGPT.
Exactly. Acknowledging that software is to do is fundamentally different from granting authorship. Authorship is essentially a contract of liability. Therefore, the human author must remain fully responsible for the accuracy and originality of the work.
Even if the machine wrote most of it.
Even if the AI generated 95% of the text.
Okay, but if the human has to take all the responsibility, that introduces massive vulnerability for you. Because what exactly are you taking responsibility for?
That's the terrifying part.
This leads right into the immense risks of relying on AI, specifically accuracy, bias, and privacy. The source material explicitly warned that any output from an AI must be treated as unverified notes, not finished scholarship.
And that requires a complete shift in how we traditionally view computational output. For decades, we have viewed computers as calculators.
Or it's a kinetic machine.
Exactly. If you have a complex equation into Excel, you expect the absolute objective mathematical truth as an output. You do not double check Excel math.
Never. I just trust it blindly.
We all do. But large language models are not calculators. They do not compute objective truth. They predict language. They calculate the statistical probability of which word should follow the previous word based on patterns that are training data.
Which is the exact mechanism that leads to hallucinations, right?
Yes, exactly. The AI will completely fabricate references, quotes, and data with absolute linguistic confidence.
Because it's designed to sound plausible, not to be factually accurate.
Right, it's a very convincing liar.
The source studies showing that these models frequently invent academic citations completely out of thin air.
Yeah, it's a huge problem.
Like a researcher might ask the AI for literature review on a specific topic, and the AI will output this beautifully formatted list of sources. Gives you a real sounding author name, a highly relevant paper title, a legitimate journal name, and even a fabricated DOI number.
And it looks perfectly real.
Exactly. If you don't actually click a link or search the database, you would never know the paper doesn't actually exist. So authors are now forced to manually verify every single quote, stat, and line of code.
And that manual verification process brings us to the issue of plagiarism, or what the source term plagiarism.
Plagiarism, that's a clever term.
It is, because LLMs do not adhere to academic attribution norms. They do not understand the concept of intellectual property at all. They have ingested millions of texts, and when they generate an output, they blend those statistical patterns together without citing the original human creator.
So if you copy and paste AI output directly into your manuscript, you might be inadvertently plagiarizing a human author whose work the AI scraped during its training phase.
Yes, you could even end up self-plagiarizing your own previous work if the model happens to ingest your past publications.
That is wild. And beyond plagiarism, there's the issue of bias. Because it learns from historic data, it just perpetuates whatever bias was in that data.
Right, exactly. It functions as a mirror reflecting the historical prejudices present in that training data. The AME Guide cites a really striking study to illustrate this.
Both the DLE free study
Researchers asked DLE-Free, which is a generative AI image tool, to create images representing Australian metals.
and the results were just drastically skewed. I mean, 92% of the individuals that generated images had light skin.
Right.
And nearly 59% were male. That is a gross misrepresentation of the actual demographic reality of Australian medical students.
And the mechanism behind that result is crucial to understand. DLE-Free did not consciously decide to exclude certain demographics. It doesn't have intent.
It's just doing that.
Exactly. It generated those images based on the billions of images and associated tech tags it was trained on. Historically, medical literature and stock photography have overrepresented white male subjects in the role of doctor. The AI simply looked at the historical statistical distribution and replicated it.
It assumes the historical baseline is the permanent reality.
Right. And if a human researcher is using these tools to generate visual aids or to synthesize data on patient populations, and they do not actively interrogate the AI's output, they will inadvertently hardcode those historical inaccuracies back into modern research.
So verification is no longer just checking your own math or checking a citation. It requires auditing a machine's logic to see what data it is silently excluding.
That's a perfect way to summarize it.
Well, that covers the risk of the output. But there's an equally severe risk on the input side, data privacy.
Oh, this is a massive issue.
Let's say you are a researcher conducting a clinical study. You have a massive document of interview transcripts from vulnerable patients or proprietary data about a new drug trial. The instinct is to drop that 50-page document into a public LLM and ask it to summarize the key themes.
Which is incredibly dangerous.
Right, because the moment you paste that text into the Dropbox, you might be violating confidentiality agreements.
The terms of service for many public generative AI tools explicitly state that user input can be used to train future versions of the model.
Right, it's right there in the fine print, nobody reads.
Exactly. So if you input raw, anonymized patient data or confidential institution protocols, you're essentially transmitting restricted information to a third-party technology company.
Let's pull this out of academia to look at a real-world application for you, the listener. Imagine you are a mid-level manager at a company.
Okay.
You record a highly confidential quarterly strategy meeting. You run the audio through a transcription software, and then you paste the transcript into a public AI tool to generate a summary for your team. You have just uploaded your company's proprietary strategy, specific financial targets, and internal weaknesses into a data set that might be used to train the next version of the AI.
Which means 6 months from now, an employee at a rival company could ask that same AI tool, what are the common weaknesses in current business strategies?
Wow, yeah.
And the AI might generate an answer that closely mirrors the exact proprietary information you uploaded.
That is terrifying. So the guy emphasizes that anyone handling sensitive data must verify with their institutional review boards or IT security teams to ensure their tools operate within a closed environment.
Right, an environment that does not train on user data.
Okay, so we have established that AI is a massive liability regarding accuracy, bias, and privacy. This brings us to the immense complexity of regulating it. Because to write a rule about AI, you first have to define what actually counts as AI use.
And the lines there are incredibly murky.
Yeah, the boundary between human writing and machine writing is just disappearing.
The guide attempts to categorize this by drawing a line between AI-assisted content and AI-generated content.
Okay, what's the difference?
AI-assisted content generally refers to work where the human authored the initial text, but utilized AI to polish it.
So like fixed grammar stuff.
Exactly, improving syntactic flow, that sort of thing. The human remains firmly in control of the ideation and the initial framing. And most journal policies firmly treat this like an advanced spell checker and do not mandate explicit disclosure.
Okay, but AI-generated content is the other side of the line.
Right, this is text where the initial draft was created by the AI based on a prompt. Even if the human author goes back and heavily revises that text later, the feed of the paragraph originated from the machine.
And usually that requires disclosure.
In almost all current academic policies, yes, AI-generated content requires explicit disclosure.
But here's where it gets really interesting. How do you define the origin of the text once the editing process begins? Because the line between assistance and generation is practically impossible to enforce once an author starts revising.
It's a complete gray area.
Let's test the boundary with the ship of Theseus now.
Oh, I love this.
For those who don't know, it's a classic philosophical thought experiment. If you take a wood ship and over the course of 10 years you replace every single rotting plank with a new piece of wood, is it still the same ship at the end?
Right.
Let's apply that to manuscript. I prompt an AI to write a paragraph summarizing a scientific concept. It spits out 5 sentences. It is clearly AI generated. I need to disclose it.
Yes, under current guidelines, that is a clear-cut generation.
But what if I read the AI's paragraph and I delete one sentence because I think it's weak? Then I change 3 adjectives. Then I rewrite the concluding sentence to sound more like my own voice.
If you actively edit,
Right. I'm now altered 50% of the text. Is it still AI generated? What if I spend a week editing and then eventually replace every single word the AI originally generated, but I retain the underlying logical structure and the sequence of arguments the AI suggested?
you replace all the planks.
Exactly. I replace all the planks one by one over a week. At what point does the AI's idea become my writing? Is it still the AI ship?
This is the exact dilemma journal editors are facing right now. And the authors of the AME Guide address this by looking at the concept of continuity. They ask how much continuity of the original AI text means in the final product.
But there's no objective metric to measure continuity of thought versus continuity of text, right?
None. Because there's no universal answer, individual journal policies are fracturing. They are highly inconsistent and constantly evolving.
The source outlines just how chaotic this is right now. It's wild. For instance, the Journal of the American Medical Association, JMA, has a policy stating you do not have to disclose basic grammar checks. So essentially, any other use needs to be reported.
Right.
But then Springer Nature has taken a hardline stance, completely prohibiting any generative AI images being published in their journals, regardless of how extreme was false.
And meanwhile, the journal Nature has stated that AI assisted copy editing does not need to be declared because they believe it's not involved in autonomous content creation.
The inconsistency creates a total labyrinth for researchers. And the gray area gets even darker when you look at complex prompting. What happens if an author uploads their own human-generated notes and uses specific prompts to have the AI write them into a specific textual form?
Right, like a researcher spends 3 months taking meticulous original field notes. They have 20 pages of raw human-generated observations. They upload their own notes into an LLM and instruct the AI to organize those notes into standard methodology sections.
The ideas are 100% human.
Exactly, but the actual sequence of the words was generated by machine. So is that assistance or is that generation?
It's a hybrid that current definitions struggle to categorize. And because policies are a moving target, the guy strongly recommends a golden rule for all authors. Disclose when in doubt.
Disclose when in doubt is the safest approach.
It is a safe legal strategy. But I want to dig into the philosophical why. Because right now the entire system relies on honor code. There is no software that can accurately detect if an AI wrote a heavily edited paragraph. So why do readers actually need to know if an AI was involved?
Well, the foundational pillars of scientific publishing are transparency, integrity, and accountability. Readers and editors need transparency to critically evaluate the manuscript.
Sure, but the AME guide introduces a much deeper, more philosophical threshold for when disclosure is necessary.
They do. They argue disclosure is warranted whenever an AI tool materially shapes the research of the manuscript.
And what does materially shapes actually mean in practice?
They define this as an epistemic threshold. Epistemology is a branch of philosophy concerned with the theory of knowledge. It asks how we know what we know, how we validate facts, and how we justify our beliefs.
Right, the study of truth, basically.
Exactly. The authors of the guide argue that AI has crossed the line from being a passive tool to becoming an active participant in the creation and transformation of knowledge.
This is where we need to draw a sharp contrast. A microscope is a tool. A researcher uses a microscope to look at a cell. A microscope magnifies reality, but it doesn't interpret it.
Right. The human looks through the lens and makes a judgment.
The microscope is totally passive. But an LLM isn't just magnifying data.
No, an LLM acts as an interpreter. The guide states that even though AI completely lacks human agency or consciousness, it now functions as the originator of our beliefs and their content.
That is a massive paradigm shift. If you ask an LLM to conduct a literature review on a controversial topic, it might scan 1,000 papers and summarize 50 of them. The AI has just made an editorial decision.
It decided which 50 papers represent the reality of the topic, and it silently excluded 950 others based on the opaque weighting of its algorithms.
The AI acted as a gatekeeper of knowledge. If an AI structured your core argument or decided which literature to summarize, it shaped how you view the truth of your subject. The reader desperately needs to know the lens through which the data was processed.
Exactly. If a human does a literature review, they have inherent biases, but we can evaluate a human methodology. We can look at a machine's output, but we cannot easily audit the exact statistical weights that led it to prioritize one paper over another.
Think about this from the perspective of reading a news article. You want to know if a human reporter interviewed sources, or if an AI scraped the internet and hallucinated the quotes. It changes how much you trust the core claims.
Absolutely. The presence of the machine materially changes the epistemological nature of the document. You have to know who or what originated the claims to evaluate their validity.
This brings up a major behavioral problem highlighted in the source, because we're talking at length about telling public and the journals about AI use. But the guy points out a pervasive issue happening internally, before the paper is even submitted.
Right, happening behind closed doors.
Researchers are routinely hiding their AI use from their own co-authors.
The guide refers to this as a lack of internal disclosure. Early literature on AI adoption shows that explicit conversations about AI use are simply not happening early in the project lifecycle.
Why not though? I mean, if the team is overwhelmed with data, and one researcher figures out how to use an AI to code data in half the time, you would think they would be eager to share that with the team.
You would think so, but they hide it because of what the authors identify as the disclosure penalty.
The disclosure.
Yeah. Despite the widespread adoption we discussed earlier, there is still a deep-seated stigma attached to using AI for intellectual work. Authors hesitate to tell their colleagues because they fear professional judgment.
They think it's cheating.
Exactly. They worry that if they reveal they use ChatGPT to draft a literature review, their peers will question the legitimacy of the work, the creativity of their insights, or their actual intellectual contribution.
It's essentially academic guilt. It's like hosting a dinner party. You make a beautiful cake from a box mix, but you hide the box in the trash before your guests arrive because you want them to think you spent hours measuring flour.
That is a brilliant analogy.
Right. But in science, hiding a box mix can get your whole team's paper retracted.
It creates catastrophic ethical liabilities because a junior researcher uses an AI to generate a section, fails to verify the citations, and never tells the author might submit that paper to a major journal.
And when the peer reviewers eventually discover that the citations are totally hallucinated, the paper gets retracted, and the entire team's reputation is permanently damaged because of an undisclosed ethical violation.
The guide emphasizes that research teams must implement deliberate steps to normalize these conversations. They cannot be treated as confessions of guilt. They need to be normalized as standard methodological planning, just like assessing who gets to be first author.
Normalizing it strips away the shame and ensures everyone is legally protected. So let's assume a researcher overcomes the internal stigma. They have a conversation with their lab and they're ready to submit the paper. They know they need to disclose their AI use to the journal. The problem is, how do you actually write that disclosure without it sounding like you're confessing to a crime?
Authors frequently fall into the trap of writing defensive, vague disclosures. The AME guide stresses that disclosing AI use should be treated as routine, unemotional methodological reporting.
Okay, so keep it clinical.
Exactly. If a researcher uses Microsoft Excel to generate a scatterplot, they do not write a paragraph apologizing for not doing the math by hand. They simply state the software and the version used as a factual component. AI disclosure must adopt that same tone.
To structure this, the guide initially references the Weaver Artificial Intelligence Disclosure Framework, known as the AIM framework, which breaks disclosure down into the who, what, why, and how much of AI involved.
But the authors of this specific source document go further. They propose their own framework specifically for health professions education research, which they call the AI Peer framework.
The AI Peer framework. And this includes 8 key practices, right?
Right, 8 distinct practices for comprehensive disclosure. The first practice is to specify the exact model and the specific version used. Simply writing, we use ChatGPT is functionally useless to a reader.
Right, because ChatGPT 3.5 for 2022 is a completely different mechanism than a model like GPT-4 or Gemini Advanced. It has drastically different parameters and hallucination. So you have to say, we utilize ChatGPT version 4.0.
Exactly. The second practice requires detailing the specific activities the AI performed. Don't just say we use AI for coding. In a research context, coding could mean writing a Python script, or it could mean qualitative analysis of interview transcripts.
The reader has to know exactly what the machine touched. So say, we utilize AI to extract recurring themes from patient feedback.
The third practice addresses the data privacy issue. You must declare if participant consent was obtained for uploading data. Did the patient consent to the transcript being processed by a third-party server?
Makes sense. And the fourth practice is related, indicating the specific steps taken to protect that data. Like, did you go to the settings and turn off the improve the model for everyone feature?
Right, it proves you actively manage the privacy. Now, the fifth practice introduces a concept that is truly fascinating. Negative disclosure.
I love this part.
It suggests explicitly stating when AI was not used, particularly in data where reader might logically suspect it was.
It's fascinating that we are entering an era where you have to explicitly state a human actually thought of this part. Like, an LLM was used to format the references, but was not used to generate the interpretive analysis. It highlights the areas of research we still consider sacred to human intellect.
We are defining the value of human intellect by explicitly stating what tasks we deny machine. The sixth practice is to reference the specific journal or institutional policies we're following.
Just to show you read the rules.
Exactly. The seventh practice is making a final statement assuming full responsibility, even if there is a checkbox ready to declare a sentence. The human authors assume full responsibility for the accuracy and integrity of all content.
You are formally signing the contract to option.
And the final, eighth practice is to keep records of prompts. Maintain an audit trail, save the PDF of the chat log, or share links to conversation. If anyone questions the origin of the data, you can prove how the AI was directed.
The framework is incredibly thorough, but the guide also explicitly lists what authors should avoid doing, what not to do. Don't write vague disclosures like, we use ChatGPT for research. That tells the reader nothing about the epistemic impact of the tool.
The vague disclosures are essentially virtue signaling. You're trying to check a compliance box, but providing no meaningful information. And don't apologize or be overly defensive. Just state the facts.
Alright, so we have established incredibly strict rules, philosophical boundaries, and detailed frameworks holding the human authors accountable. But what happens when the paper is finally submitted, and the peer reviewers evaluating work want to use AI to speed up their own jobs?
This creates one of the most intense points of friction in the current publishing ecosystem. Using generative AI in the peer review process is heavily discouraged and often strictly prohibited by journals.
Like academic medicine in that world.
Right. The primary reason for that ban is confidentiality. When a human author submits a manuscript for peer review, it is a privileged, unpublished document. If a reviewer uploads that into an LLM just to get a quick summary, they are breaching the confidentiality agreement.
They are feeding unpublished scientific data into a third-party commercial server.
Exactly. But the secondary reason touches on the fundamental purpose of peer review. AI lacks domain expertise and real-world lived experience.
A machine does not practice medicine.
Exactly. Therefore, it lacks the critical human judgment necessary to assess if a paper is genuinely novel or grasp the subtle ethical nuances of the clinical trial. It acts as an unhelpful black box.
The guide actually points out a massive hypocrisy developing here. They use the phrase rules for thee, but not for me. Journals fiercely insist that an AI cannot be an author because a machine lacks moral responsibility. Yet some reviewers attempt to use that exact same unaccountable machine to pass judgment on human authors.
It is a glaring double standard.
It's like submitting your novel to a publishing house, and instead of an editor reading it to see if it makes them feel something, they feed it to a robot to see if the word count is right. The author is held to the highest standard of human integrity, while the gatekeeper outsources their job to a machine.
It we connect this to the bigger picture, if we remove human judgment from the peer review process, we strip the system of its core value. An AI can spot a formatting error instantly, but it cannot tell you if a piece of research will fundamentally change how a doctor treats a patient.
Which begs the ultimate question. With all of these strict frameworks, the blurry definitions, the equity issues, and the hypocrisies of peer review, where is this actually heading? The guide looks at historical technological shifts to try to predict the future of AI disclosure.
And historical parallels are vital here. We have experienced massive technological disruptions before. The introduction of calculators, word processors, spreadsheets, and statistical packages like SPSS were all once disruptive.
There was a time when using a computer to run a statistical regression was seen as taking a shortcut.
Exactly. But today, no one declares they use Microsoft Word's spell check. It is entirely assumed. The authors predict that eventually, generative AI disclosures will likely become minimized, routine, or vanish entirely once the use is normalized.
But we're not there yet. We're in a transitional phase, and there is an urgent need for more research on the equity implications. We talked about how AI offers a fair footing for multilingual scholars. The data shows a substantial proportion of authors disclosing AI tools are from the global south.
And this creates the ultimate policy dilemma. We desperately need strict transparency to protect the epistemological truth. But if journals implement overly aggressive policing or ambiguous rules, strict disclosure policies risk disproportionately burdening multilingual scholars or those from less resourced institutions.
If the penalty for a mistake is having your paper rejected, the researchers who rely on the tools the most are the ones most at risk. We can exacerbate structural disparities.
To mitigate this, new AI-specific reporting guidelines are emerging across different disciplines. There is Gamer for general mental research, Consort AI for clinical trials, and Prisma AI for systematic literature reviews.
We are essentially trying to build a regulatory airplane while we're already flying it. We are in the messy middle. We are living in the 5 to 10 year window where we have to awkwardly announce, I used a computer to help me think. 50 years from now, people will look back at these journal declarations and laugh at how quaint we were.
The goal should be norms that promote transparency without perpetuating inequality. It is an incredibly delicate balancing act.
We covered how these tools are normalizing, much like spell check did. But I want to leave you, the listener, with a final provocative thought to mull over. Something building on this source material. We established that LLMs are trained by scraping human-generated text from the internet. But right now, the internet is being flooded with AI-generated text and AI-generated academic papers. If normalization means everyone uses these tools, we are heading toward a massive Ouroboros scenario. A technological snake eating its own tail.
Model collapse.
Exactly. In 5 years, when they train the next generation model, they will be scraping an internet saturated with the outputs of the previous models. If future researchers use AI tools trained on previous AI-generated papers to write new AI-generated papers, at what point does human knowledge stop expanding and simply start echoing itself in an endless, perfectly spelled, grammatically correct loop?
That is the ultimate existential question. If the silent collaborator becomes the only voice generating the text, what happens to human pursuit of truth?
That is something to think carefully about the next time you open up a chat window. Paste in a few bullet points and ask the machine for just a little help. Phrasing an email. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Like every single character's arc has to perfectly align over 100 episodes. You can't have any plot holes. And furthermore, the entire narrative has to comply with strict, constantly changing network regulations.
Right, except in this scenario, the network is a medical accreditation.
Exactly. The show I was out, it's a collaborative learning management system. And the characters of future doctors will actually utilize their hands.
Yeah, that analogy really captures the sustained, grueling focus required for time. The curriculum mapping is it's a style alignment of educational. You start with overarching students, the absolute non-negotiable requirements of what a physician must know. Then you have to disaggregate those math standards into highly specific, granular learning.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And then you map those objectives back pedagogical strategies. And finally, you align all of that with specific evaluation methods.
It sounds exhausting.
It is intensely detailed. You're building codified, structured matrices so that anyone can transparently visualize how a single, multiple choice question relates to a global accreditation standard.
The introduction of AI into this rigid, heavily regulated environment hasn't exactly been smooth.
The source text uses a brilliant phrase to describe the dynamics here. They say that medical education is experiencing AI culture. Now, it perfectly encapsulates the whiplash educators. On one side, there is profound awe. I mean, they're staring at a technological tool capable of executing in 30 seconds what would traditionally take a committee of highly paid professionals 3 weeks to accomplish.
Wow, yeah.
But on the other side, there's deep existential apprehension. These are professionals whose entire careers are built on precision and ethics.
Right, handing over the architectural keys of a medical program to an algorithm that, occasionally hallucinates fast. That's terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. So our mission here today is to navigate that exact solution. We want to move you from a place of systemic resistance or generalized fear into a posture of practical, high-response adaptation.
I love that practical adaptation. Yeah, so this structure, this enormous undertaking to build this medical show that was the plot. The authors surround their entire study, the foundational framework of its current 6-step model curriculum. And to build any kind of lasting structure, you first need to survey the land. You have to know what the environment demands of each room.
Yeah, which brings us to the first 2 steps of Friend's model. And the targeting system.
Okay, let's dive into the because this is where friction usually gets.
Oh yeah, because according to exists internationally, and they're not static. They treat provides a massive like this.
And historically, when a new version comes, what happens?
Even if you're studying genetic process, they literally sit down, place multiple documents side by side, you side, and manually scan every single system change, addition, approval, and slight modification.
Just getting hundreds of users of text, trying to world high stakes objects.
Exactly.
Is that what it's worth?
It is. The company's loaded task, which guarantees fair. But the University of Washington deployed an LLM to perform this exact standards alignment analysis.
It is just using open source code.
No, specifically highlight the necessity of using AI with commercial data. When you are in proprietary institutional critical data into a system, you absolutely cannot risk that data being stored.
Right, it's pure layers of the concept. But what really fascinating is the mechanics of how the actions work. Yeah, I'll stretch you with true
Yeah, optimization.
They didn't just train up the files together with name and change. They engineered a highly straight model. What we always right here. They instructed the AI to strictly use the other documents that online searches and search.
And that can fundamentally alter how the model processes the request. Well, by explicitly putting internet search, they artificially shrink the AI's universal knowledge to just those 2 public files. Our language built right? And if they find a gap in information, they will often vast parameters to fill that gap.
Just make it easy.
Exactly. By placing a wall around the text, the authors force the model accurately as a very element rather than
And there's only 2 methods to extract. The AI 75 and all ones. And the point of people and new
and the top time
is the equivalent to 4 days of manual work, like 2 5 days after that, which is about the AI manual errors, which is the reviewers after looking at research.
the human has identified the exact errors. You don't have to review before. However, the optical doing that human recording is expired.
Right, just blindly trust the
Exactly. The human experts still manually review to generate out the truth facts. Paradigm shift is about replacing human. It's about shifting to control, combining the yields of ESAT to simply verifying the yields AI bound are fact correct.
That makes sense. Which is the deals with like
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're talking about ESAT. It means to realize massive gap. They can teach us to artificial intelligence. So they use AI models to figure out how to teach humans how to be.
The meta layer is straight. The administrative model is vertical. Medical curriculum are mandated to undergo two small improvements to incorporate emerging science technology. So institutions have implemented novel undergraduate medical education curriculum focused on AI. They have to embed brand new competencies from critical AI appraisal into existing already work value frameworks.
And they didn't just ask the AI themselves, did they?
No, it's also proposing new strategies using first system and help with a massive IT structure architecture plan.
Yes.
Well, the AI identified foundational knowledge gaps to be built for you to understand AI. Things like what's this context, ALC, and methodologies to value.
We're looking at how that's going to prosper. Is AI topic of that? didn't suggest a brand new, isolated course AI for this movie structure makers.
Right, now you explain.
Exactly. Instead, it mapped these new concepts to the educational levels. It suggested leaving AI validation methodologies to the pre-existing editing as much.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and it's just adding course physical concepts. It's established by the statistics. It provided year by year breakdown integration, complete session objectives, and multiple assessments.
It actually cures like cases.
Yes.
So you're saying that you're like we're actually looking at the
And the authors noted this is setting up a producer having 99%. Because each experts a high detailed skill that they can easily integrate, edit, and refine.
The acceleration of preliminary science is that building maps really only half balance. Often the challenge is proving the quality of medical schools frequently see increased driving bugs, or even trauma depending on where exactly the specific thought program.
And finding the answer to that requires curriculum geogrammatic. You are not taking for high statistics subjects across thousands of different values, so high activities.
To solve this, the author utilized prompt engineering technique called persona mapping.
What is the result?
It's more shown in advanced prompts. You explicitly turn the model to develop.
Oh, so in this case, AI acts as expert curriculum mapping and evaluation.
Yes, but it's they create these access properties with reference prompts, and it's limited to the prompts. So basically, the AI is not a bad strategy for other parts.
Can you make that better?
They provide the AI with a super range of coverage. For instance, the AI system called the then they fed the AI a regional list of reviews. The model successfully analyzed the adaptive keywords. So it's called prompt series.
Okay, let me put that out. However, if we're explicitly telling AI to act as an expert within your skill training and creativity, logging into a refined discourse, basically using a multi-billion-dollar supercomputer as a glorified default answer function, like why are you using LLM to process this data you're writing it?
That is a good question. The distinction between theory and LLM are packaging standards.
It's 90% of your data.
The job users truly it requires the abstract barriers to the a national learning guide that specifies barriers to the LLM. If you understand the theory required for social science help, you'll get zero results. The exact words from there. However, looking for each subject.
Just because the professor really got to use their vocabulary and interpretation.
Exactly. But an LLM utilizes that link subject characters and understands the standpoint process. The neural understands that financial barriers is a concept initially linked to broad categories of terms. It knows that LLM all of it performs special
So that can stand great because natural language and bureaucracy is
that is Chinese technical. That is why training applications provide one leverage passive textual understanding of language, but you certainly must output only a group of vocabulary words.
You need to blame an expert, but it doesn't matter.
That's a great
That distinction makes the entire data make sense. It's not just finding words, it's understanding the meaning of the word. Which tradition does organic, providing the gas map, deciding what you're actually doing.
Right, we
Once it is assessed, we assess this. This is every goals objectives.
and we can also generate requires no gas. Now you have to explicitly define what the must achieve. The AI shifts from reader to user.
And in that way, gravity judges is usually complicated because it's not
Yes, I'll demonstrate this by using AI to competency-based goals for work technology. I think these goals separate across three entirely different aspects. EGY1, EGY2, and EGY3.
And for those of you that like that, too, close right with year 1, 2.
Up to 2 and insurance, operating under capacity of application and curriculum. The educational goals specify excellence.
So how do you handle that question?
When knowledge generates later vectors, AI demonstrated highly logical understanding systems. For the EGY1 methods, AI directed heavily focused on foundational systems. Its standard task reduce present dynamic targets and implement one actual improvement.
It's very random simple. Or steady back to you. What I'm saying.
For the EGY2 methods, AI recommends you application. The efficient. The study of this task where you current literature. Select evidence defined and actively apply up to these 3 levels.
Wow.
And expect documenting improvements in
So they move from 15 to 2 and applying subjects to really
and finally, AI reduces right method. Generally, AI fairly work leadership. Yes, the senior task that can augment review of critical progressive. Present evidence based on the tab and attacking medical provide improvement methodology.
and the AI graph is higher, staggered, present on the staggered for feedback, point values, front of the
Other it refers to the field self
it was the first building our brain, allowing the experts to be able to solve measures. But this writing process was one of the most significant formalities of using AI.
It does. Phenomenal documentation doesn't get analysis provide standards.
This is the danger of multiple high sensitivity. They work that need to connect broad radiation concepts, phrases like hemodynamics, blood flow pressure, to highly specific educational and business.
The AI system has reference specific granular methods like fluid and demonstrate how that map will quantify human methods.
And one of the results aspect, the ability to utilize AI reduces any work out of
Yes, he's there. The quality transfer API. Here is when you're learning AI model. The model is advised to be used aggressively or concept.
progressively, what
It would find specifically my measures to the actual education levels rather than be forcefully nonsense.
because the AI rates on bubbles focus. It sees blood pressure and blood pressure, mention handling, and it knows passive mind.
Regardless of like the concept or dimension of
It is highly widely enthusiastic activity. You ask them like miles, they come back to your office, pulling their work, including their registering, and every single area. Fluid flow rate to the assessment. And I think that the accuracy of it is highly accurate, but I think it's
it was human methodology inside that cannot be set the
that is exactly what it is. The human is set it, the guidance point out, and all problems do rest with strength on.
and towards the AI type and remove extraneous distorted data.
The AI situation confidence level, and that's level cost. It is the ultimate improvement outsourcing object machine is possible.
Right, human only methods of building correlation educational notes.
So if you follow the blueprint, we have the established results, we have the different line items, and we track forward the entire map.
For example,
Educational, management, actually got strategies to teach specifics. In this case, the AI involves sort of specific line structural science.
the term of structural science is generally teaching methodology yes. The other line program standard for highly specific educational concept, structured verbal feedback.
But they recognize the danger. If you ask the LLM a broad question of feedback, it will generate generic logos, style, something, it will be conversational practice.
Right, and your rigorous standard methodology.
So to achieve this, we utilize a specific concept. We're treating LLM to identify options. The algorithm will get concepts to our feedback, and specific reason requirements execution for any
And myself, will have to force the AI to construct about theory and understanding. The model synthesize and generate tasks to implement regular structural feedback. That provide 99 results to the element areas group. But crucial elements of the
Yes,
he did. The AI sitting with the structural feedback because other research proves that the correct measure group. Furthermore, it's looking at the exact structure requiring manual calculation. It is also active too. Provide even days and client days for your provider.
the amount of labor spares is in some cases, any but by the by teaching up to regulate. The AI provides comprehensive synthesized argument with structural features forward.
The human reasoning time. Humans also links ensure the AI links.
All zero. The synthesis of complex AI options is when the AI truly excels, particularly before that data becomes the author answer is by using AI to make further analysis.
Yeah, and this is like transfer with like endless in regards to
Oh, absolutely. The author definitely competency lists these facts.
systematic practice is inherent physical concept. It requires that learners understand how a single patient interaction is embedded in a massive complex system.
Infrastructure, user foundation, user networks, socioeconomic factors.
It's often used to determine applications. Anyone care reason knowledge. They'll recommend these and see education.
And synthesis AI with summary trivial pages and paragraphs. It generates detailed characteristic. It indicates the exact opposite.
They ask the AI care feedback the level of variation, the ability method, cognitive load based on student, reveal by that ability to the fact of original wire, the complexity of the student, and the degree of learning.
Structuring calculus features force AI to facilitate systematic understanding into immediate action figures.
The relative with math class. For self-directed learning, the two parameters that each target, and focus large on foundational knowledge, the ability is extremely high after that.
I give it some tasks.
Right. On adaptive learning, which is which is very background.
What else?
For simulation based training, the teacher very because it recognizes real world clinical scenarios. However, the major major problems. Simulations as a math factor resource use, low scalability, and highly complex system requirements.
Increasing dashboard precision. Your program director building two real time numbers to make over 100 business. That's the ability to immediately realize simulation training is actually possible.
You can basically not read that need to run.
It bridges the gap between theory and just now. It also generates coverage of signing West response to support navigating learning institutions.
Yeah, it becomes a highly complex but difficult to go on. Teaching pursue that students solid guys on learning using actual they're creating a mentor's class. They're intricate graphical representation of what fresh cycle part is on during single programming.
Teaching calculus tasks, shift dynamic, theory types of failure, the traditional passive side factor, all universally results in forced
But that's you need to learning.
So AI, if any objective, specify the environment, small take, and aspect of learning. And AI just offers 20 years, it generated 9 comprehensive state instruction.
Sure, all you use what is AI detail is concept. It says moving to later stream value cloudly on marks. The construct AI by exact task. The answer comes to visual and keys much turn for like
It told Daphne to make specific objects to visually map how to increase actual alter the shape of the virtual during solid.
the AI generated pedagogical role of the exercise. Organizing complex ideas explicitly illustrate interconnectivity factors.
If you understand how rich world special too, this is rubbish. But humans are concept, mapping numbers stretch them from little to each. They default to mapping systems.
They would PowerPoint, they create 20 slides, will point the concept per hour.
Right. And if you use the internet present before the report by the team, you know this technique. You are operating, so you just remember the slide beyond.
But we also demonstrate that you can use LLM as a great smart
You can ask it to instantly generate 9 active each always present opposite and bring back factors.
The AI which is a tireless execution. The author's number is second necessary. And LLM generating it's not generating useless. Right. The AI might just have linear or institutional or time doesn't concept. It generates possibilities, but the human experience provides
Which is a regular collision reality. We built that, we designed beautiful 80 present real. But if we're not, it was useless in navigation.
Oh, my God.
Implementation. With theory,
elements.
It is a ground off overloads. You can most brilliant art curriculum, but your family stops at skills teacher, it will fail on context.
You can also be right the phrase internet collaboration and syllabus and doctors, nurses, and hospital administrators to instantly seamlessly know how to teach group students. Education learning teaching out that study because of curriculum is impacting outcomes. And there's also teach rarely sensitive questions.
They always utilize AI computer generated curriculum objectives to spot these stacky bugs.
Yeah, I like to check the underlying box to face special collaboration. Then the practice also knowledge. The model suggests that according to launch, the institution needs to specific workshops for the faculty on team-based dictionaries and strategies navigating complex localized.
The AI anticipated one. It correctly highlighted the prerequisites to learning is teacher.
That capacity to extrapolate secondary logistical requirements is incredibly powerful, and also push that ability to absolutely when it has the AI creating comprehensive communication checks.
They can design instructional session practices regarding best practices about engineering program. Right. Insert the AI without result of faculty expert and generating saucy checklists align with current system.
The opposite generate resonance staggering. The AI produces a massive 5-page high structured implementation.
5 pages of ridiculous.
I know. It bypasses simple industry languages like Blue Room or Minnesota. It categorizes the entire data across multiple disciplines. It provides coordination, break that down because thousands during session user follow.
It details these requirements, build business cases, outline test plans, and adaptable human processes future releases.
Not every language has a pre-session AI created courses for hard class. It dictates your class. But then the verify to verify the it explicitly points out the requirements which force you to access and all that and all the correct software.
My favorite part, it exclusively left prepare online, localized apps for the AI. Yes, the also Wi-Fi crash, real life algebra, and ability to use checks. That level of digitalization is fine.
It really is. The other standard is single comprehensive document saving 32 hours faculty and industry.
32 hours is entire work reclaimed for facility. However, those are extremely transparent for license clearance.
Right, but the 5-page checklist generated by AI is comprehensive engineering. It includes several industry elements and elements such as secret operation.
And when including its localized, it has no prepared measurable needs that causes changes to use.
This note the requires minimum 3D time to review cycles.
It is incredibly blind to case nuances of institutional ultra infrastructure. The AI always in the space where industry process order. Human operates SCI program shares theoretically.
The important thing here is that AI is the ultimate generator of 95% of graph. It completely eliminates the terror of life.
It's 32 hours back your brain for everything, just to get over it. It also network structural organizations of your energy, sequence how you apply virtual lives, human localized.
You let machine build software and you apply that.
It's really simple to write communication. Section 5, this corresponds to satisfaction.
The assessment needs to find evidence just in the advanced application. All that's important, cannot improve the actually absorb or knowledge.
Evaluate options for evidence, and usually takes more of your slides past all that. Right? Well, questions for MCQs, all the options, and the right way to test knows it is agnostic. Can it choose? Can it work using it? Crucially, the test is utility to apply knowledge in real scenario, not just test abilities in our science.
Since such a valid example for salvation is both art and highly rigorous science, step simple scenario readily and right. Then generate answer alongside possible factors, incorrect answers, just after the attitude, only does special the author utilizes AI to tackle the answer and focus on the
the one was tested solid with energy system. The version was left during 40 classes is electronic, as defined by right application.
But even just ask a question, they explicitly prompt the AI to align the generate question.
Context blue text on the foundational education rate, the classifies learning factors that are below the pocket class.
And the response basic summarization. As you pyramid, through understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, finally, creating.
The author did not want a lot of pure question. It was the AI asked what the definition of job. One question forces you to live higher blue text on. The analyze data by direct knowledge justification.
And the output of high sustained equilibrium. It generates areas turning physical conditions, physical and looking at release by early launch content. Steady select present the target your tank is not connected. The AI provides success right part conversation. We bring you better player and again.
It will higher mathematics justification problem. The question asks, the volume is like space plan.
The question generated by model is targeting shock due to 2 by launch. The true value AI output was just question for answers. Yes, the model generated causal drivers, cycle shock, studio shock, etc. And provides detailed paragraph explanation of the wide range. Right, exactly why everything will be for options is like the model based on provided information.
It just writes that question. It generated a complete self-contained study of the second act. The administrative act is profound.
The author reported that doing the reduces the time of right format just by a single message by each. Yes, when that your capital and question of and each production generation by function.
These always here's the sauce. States for evaluation rest. You are generating sensitive materials like definition. It handles the access responsible for where we were never one. And evaluate schedule. You are actually teaching levels to the exact wrong diagnostic criteria for argument.
It is a certified. The AI is highly confident, even when it's completely wrong.
Which is why doctors reiterate that human expert oversight is strictly under one. The AI is rapidly grammars. It decisions are like that like the logical. The human slight margin.
And evaluation of stock is to ensure that's actually working. You have to evaluate the entire line for
the author demonstrated this trying to set that towards the competency of earlier system-based practice. Specifically, they want to evaluate learners successfully identify stage and quality improvement argument costs.
You cannot easily test system-based practice as a multiple choice question. It requires a behavioral and operational system. Faculty use the AI as a generator, but as a brainstorming collaborator for structural.
They prompt the AI to design a comprehensive framework for assessing complex topics.
The AI is by testing multi-line systemic evaluation. It didn't rely on a single effort. It suggested 4 distinct methods of evaluation. First, direct observation and real-time settings. Utilizing text, the response. Written text, complex studies evaluate the ability and cost. Third, practical and simulation scenarios measure the unit performance and failure. Finally, integration tests require learners for the quality of project reliability, sit down, final trust, and operational.
The model provides structural guidelines to how one is such a with baseline points and should be, how structural EH processes fail, and what documentation readiness would require proof of competency.
This single safe curriculum data estimated 4 hours high level brainstorming. It provides a comprehensive mental framework that immediately gets tailored to specific content.
So for the package, we have successfully walked through the entire program fluid. Initially set all the way through to all level.
Yes, the outcome engineering uses techniques like short action, context, and notes, explicit writing, and they deeply measure.
Using AI during all line methods, building software data checklists, draft complex actions, utility funds.
The efficiency and comprehension. The AI assessment manages the overwhelming complexity of information. But
Yes, but last, we arrived at section 6, final and most vital part of the is human.
because still the opposite of the study, the opposite of very hard, undealing with the line, and
It did away from prompt engineering, focused entirely on responsibility, accountability, and quality.
is incredibly effective. The authors report on the network of quality evaluation. Responsibility and accountability are seemingly human traits. But right and that curriculum, I think, is the product and outcome of it. It's very little and specific criteria, but it's not as well.
Counting cost decision-based decisions and network.
And that is the level. Stakes are their
When every fails, when ready to stand still, when the gap gaps are addressed, or when the concept taught directly to the AI station, concepts do not seem to against us. We were left as well. Or we covers complex, but that is your
And it is human educators must be able to make that out. Educators have the legal, professional, and the personal aspects.
When student trains successfully, having taught, as life, the engineer is profound thought. Diversity education is a failed learner, and others of education, the engineer is profound force.
And others cannot do this. Another is not right. The machine does not intend and downstream processes.
The level challenge is that it's ultra trash leaders. If we calculate systems where AI is the 8 second after work, if the machine is running objectives based on teachers, generated there's space to grab the test question, aren't beat by definition slowly outsourced for
That's the answer.
right. If an error system AI is high sensitivity, if a hallucinating test question is proved because the team professor doesn't teach it, who's really playing? Thus the tool's efficiency inherently dilutes the human code.
That is the exact value of the warning. The answer is unequivocal. The label is terrible. The human AI collaboration is fundamentally enhancing market is not based on. Outsourcing the T is an industry value of regular successful use of technology. Outsourcing finance budget, zero professional.
Who can evaluate AI resistance to AI sets? Does not mean teaching them to blindly trust the machine. It means requiring them to set up as a role ultimate and weak.
It is an analogy of being handed a power tool after spending your entire career using hands-on.
Power tools have dimensions and is vast more efficient. What layer teach drift from the same? That power tool was as dominant, much faster than hands-on.
Exactly. The sheer power of technology meant even more responsible, not less.
Human educators oversight assets are beyond setting logic rigor especially. It involves a deeply emotional ethical supply communication process.
The AI is not a logical collaborator. It is literally a but the responsibility was how it's taught, how it's distributed, remains unique and weak.
Let's bring all together. We started the incredibly people detailing the task organizing knowledge. We want to current 6-step model and witness how sophisticated AI prompt engineering can collaborate and stable.
We saw restricting AI creativity allows to tackle flaws and how utilizing short translate bureaucracies.
Consider human aspect utility AI and structural design alongside their real efficiency. It's sensitive mind cognition, risk connections, physically blind slowed by institution and full back links.
Where you are managing your professor memory, sign up for training program, or sitting your own student office, less the questions.
Let the artificial help to evaluate organization process and use the machine to do interrelate data. We must be context and
You must bring human expertise, gravity, and your ideal technical final. The machine provides vision, but the human provides.
Which leads to one final product of human battle. If we extrapolate future using technology next day, the AI actually uses like we're perfectly instantly entire logistical administrative and burden
If there was how to generate falsely seconds.
then the fundamental of the teacher is enforced application.
How do you set all
Future is the one guide for information. Where they're still identified, where they're asking for questions. Those tasks will be directly free and instead, educators will guide your uselessly where you can. It will be prized for empathy, for guides, and utility list proofs, and help navigate crushing emotional weight.
Wow. When you measure the value of knowledge from 3 and instantaneous. The authentic confession of the ultimate irreplaceable premium product education.
The introduction of the word forces the education more profoundly.
Exactly. It starts to talking about John Lord, overwhelming, constantly shifting landscape of information.
Artificial intelligence finally gives us the power to freeze that word, start generating something quickly. But how flaws still requires humans to decide direction.
And it's USA back on this.
Educating the Bible is
Learning objectives for this session are that we will be able to learn how AI can speed up teaching session design. We will know about Canva and presentation AI for PowerPoints and understand academic considerations. So we have current methods which we use, and we have different perspectives regarding their use. So how can we use AI to develop PowerPoint presentations? So there are different tools we can incorporate, including ChatGPT, Canva AI, presentation AI, Gamma, slides.ai.io, integration into PowerPoints. So AI for teaching outlines, ChatGPT. Prompts are important. There are some good strengths, but there are limitations. They won't give you so much good, clear slides, and you need to validate what has been given in output. Presentation.ai uploads ChatGPT outline into presentation.ai and auto-generate structured slides is in presentation.ai. AI for presentation design, Canva AI hands-on exercise, and it generates a 5-slide deck on a chosen topic. It can add icons, visuals, and flowcharts. Integration. So from ChatGPT, you will generate teaching outline. From presentation.ai, you will auto-generate draft slides, and from Canva AI, you will polish design, visual, and infographics. So AI tool. Almanac generate lesson plans with slides, worksheets, and tailored activities. QEPod creates interactive lessons by typing a topic or uploading a document. In brisk teaching, there is turning of online resources into lessons, presentations, and engaging activities. In EduAid, there is a generation of lesson plan, activities, and assessment with over 150 AI-powered tools. Canva AI is easy to use tool for creating visually rich presentations using Magic Design and Magic Write features. DIFFIT generates detailed educational resources, including customizable slides from topics or standards. Magic Slides AI platform offering tools to create PowerPoint slides from various sources like PDF, keywords, and YouTube videos. SlidesGo is AI tool to generate editable presentation with customizable styles, tone, and slide counts. Beautiful.ai, AI-driven presentation tool that may help you design professional-looking slides with smart templates and automation. Slides AI, Google Slides add-on for creating AI-generated presentation and editable text and images. Sample presentation made by using Slide AI add-on in PowerPoint. You can see this is being generated and it looks so beautiful and so great. It is very colorful presentation. Unfortunately, there can be some irrelevant imaging in it, but you have to look for it. But it is a very beautiful and visually appealing presentation. As you can see, it has a lot of subsections mentioned as well, and it has even touched on to some very advanced level topics of post-operative care, etc. And you can see that such a beautiful, visually appealing presentation can be created by the AI, and the students will like it very much, and they will be involved in it. Similarly, another presentation on Static Shark, as you can see, the visuals and all the important topic areas being touched, and meanwhile relevant visuals are given. Sometimes they may not give a great data exactly, but you have to look for the pictures, and still it is visually extremely appealing and very different from the routine that we use for creating visually appealing presentations. These are so beautifully constructed PowerPoint presentations using the AI. You can see how the another presentation and so on and so forth. So AI can help you create very visually appealing presentations that will attract the student, and the student will like it, and you will be able to engage your audience with a very highly colorful and engaging presentation. This one is on measles. You can see how much beautifully depicted every single word is a picture along with a short narration of the problem. So it is extremely good to use them, and presentations can be made with AI. They would be enormously impactful. Thank you. These are our learning objectives for the session. And now we move directly to the session. So AI is reshaping traditional assessment methods in transformative ways. Educators and learners are turning towards AI to enhance objectivity and effectiveness of assessment processes. Integrating AI into assessment holds the promise of a more personalized and adaptive approach to evaluating individuals. So designing MCQs, essay-type questions, and OSCEs using different AI tools. Developing MCQs that align with the educational goal requires a deep understanding of subject matter, as well as awareness of the potential pitfalls associated with poorly constructed MCQs. So if we give one prompt into ChatGPT, it will start doing the work for us. But we will have to use the same Bloom taxonomy: C1 remembering, C2 understanding, C3 applying, C4 analyzing, C5 evaluating, and C6 creating. And MCQ prompt on, for example, acute abdomen. For C1, you will develop an MCQ asking student to recall the key signs and symptoms of acute appendicitis. In understanding level, you will develop an MCQ that requires student to explain the difference between visceral and somatic abdominal pain and acute abdomen. In applying C3 level, develop MCQ asking student to apply their knowledge by choosing the most appropriate diagnostic test for a patient presenting with right lower quadrant pain and suspected appendicitis. In C4 analysis level, you will give the prompt, develop MCQ that requires students to analyze a clinical case with symptoms of acute abdomen and determine which organ system is most likely affected based on the pattern of symptoms. In evaluating C5, you will give prompt as develop an MCQ asking student to evaluate different management options for a patient with acute cholecystitis and select the best treatment based on current guidelines. In creating C6, develop an MCQ encouraging student to design a management plan for a patient with acute abdomen caused by perforated peptic ulcer, justifying their choice based on clinical evidence. So these are the different ways to give prompts for different levels of Bloom taxonomy, which we are all already familiar with the Bloom taxonomy. So you go to Socrative.com and create an account while you are creating MCQs. And there are common technical item flaws like test wiseness, grammatical cues, logical cues, word repeats, longest option is always correct, absolute terms, impossible distractors, convergence, all of the above, and none of the above are test wiseness like things that often students lead to the right answer by using these clues. Irrelevant difficulty is by way of poor sequence in the numerical data, unnecessary information, unclear or ambiguous information, and more than one or more correct answers, and it may fail the hand cover test, and it may have negatives not except in the term. Negatives other than except one may be there as well. So these are the different problems with item construction. Other than Socrative, Google Forms can be used as a quick quiz app. Quizlet.com is another one, but most features are behind paywall. Turnitin can auto-grade as well. Short answer question with marking key prompt. Develop a short answer question that requires students to apply the knowledge of the language and initial management of patient presenting it. If you can ensure the question includes the clinical scenario and ask the student to justify their management decision based on clinical evidence, also provide a marking grade. So this is the prompt for SEAQ with marking key. It is the standard prompt. For ASCII, the standard prompt is different. Design an objective structure clinical examination station that requires students to obtain informed consent from patient. Language regards also require a second ensure the ASCII involves communication skill, explanation of procedure, potential risk and addressing patient concerns. Also include marking sheet, instruction for the candidate examiner and simulated patient. So these are the references from where this was taken, and that is all about creating assessment. And this is a beautiful picture of our Harvard Medical University where all the knowledge flows. Learning objectives are fourfold: to understand the foundation of education in digital context, examine integration of AI in education, develop competencies in digital literacies and AI ethics, and analyze real-world AI implementations in education. Before thinking about how you might use AI in your classroom, it is important to refresh your thinking about what is you are aiming to achieve. Your aim should be clear with it. What is education? It is easy to be seduced into using innovative technologies which have the appearance of being helpful insofar as they allow learners to present work that seems to be of a high standard. As you will appreciate, a product is only meaningful if it is authentic evidence of learning. Education is a multifaceted concept that varies depending on the context, such as teaching children versus adults. UNESCO 1996, Learning the Treasure Within defines education as encompassing four fundamental types: learning to know, learning to do, learning to live together, and learning to be. While the process of education can be challenging, its ultimate outcomes are rewarding and beneficial. If we take, for example, the process of learning to read and write, we can easily see how tempting it must be for a learner struggling to shape letters and from them into words on a paper. To prod a machine to produce a piece of elegant script in a typeface of their choice. But again, we can learn from Aristotle. We learn an art or craft by doing the things we shall have to do when we have learned it. This is often quoted as what we have to learn to do. We learn by doing. So considerations to educating in a digitalized world. SAMR model, a framework to gauge the integration of digital technologies into education. Levels of SAMR model: substitution, augmentation, modification, redefinition. Purpose of SAMR model: to help educators consider the role of digital technologies in teaching and learning and its impact on learning activities. SAMR: substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. A reflective tool to consider technology roles in teaching. SAMR: substitution: technology substitute another tool, there is no functional change to the activity. Augmentation: technology substitute another tool, there is a functional improvement to the activity. Modification: the incorporation of technologies allow for a significant redesign of the activity. And redefinition: the incorporation of technologies allow for the creation of new activities that were previously inconceivable. Bloom's taxonomy: evolving learning objectives and outcomes in 1956 versus Anderson 2001. So knowledge comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, evaluation by Bloom. To remember, understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and create by Anderson and Krathwohl in 2001. Bloom was interested in his own levels by giving the 6 levels of remembering, recall facts and basic concepts, understand, explain ideas or concepts, apply, use information in new situations, analyze, draw connections among ideas, evaluate, justify a standard decision, and create, produce new or original one. This was the 6th level of Bloom's taxonomy. Digital citizen. Who is a digital citizen? Digital citizens. The digital competence framework for citizens in 2022. Information and data literacy: locating, accessing, searching, filtering, managing, storing, and evaluating information and digital content. Collaboration and communication: interacting, sharing, engaging in citizenship, collaborating through digital technologies, managing digital identities, digital content creation, like developing, integrating, elaborating digital content, copyright and licenses, programming, safety, protecting devices, personal data, privacy, health and well-being, and the environment. Problem solving mechanical problems, identifying needs, creative use of technology and responses, and competence gaps. Other digital competence and skill frameworks: ISDE standard: empowered learner, digital citizen, knowledge construction, innovative design, computational thinker, creative communicator, and global collaborator. There is another digital proficiency and productivity design in which digital creation, problem solving and innovation, digital learning and development, digital identity and well-being, information, data and media literacies, digital communication, collaboration, and participation. Growing need for AI literacies and competence development: confidence and ability to clearly explain how AI technologies work and impact society. Use them in an ethical and responsible manner. Effective communication and collaboration with them in any setting. Confidence and ability to self-reflect on their AI understanding. Reflect on how well individuals use AI in beneficial ways. The importance of pedagogical choices: sharpens your knowledge, but you have to have your pedagogical choices that shape the success of AI in your classroom. Effective integration of AI depends more on your teaching methods than on the digital tools. We will explore different pedagogical approaches impact on the use of AI in teaching. The success of AI tools depend on how structure and facilitate learning. Your role is key in integrating AI into models like flipped classroom, AI deliver lectures and quizzes at home, teacher facilitate engaging in classroom or practical activities. Project-based learning: AI aids the research and data analysis, but success relies on the teacher ability to guide inquiry and collaboration. Play-based learning: AI tools create interactive games for young learners. Teachers must nurture a stimulating environment. Blended learning: AI supports online and in-person activities, but teachers ensure seamless integration and provide personalized support. What is AI-driven teaching practice? Your pedagogical choices define the success of your teaching. AI tools offer support, but your decision, instruction, learning, and engagement make a difference. Example: intelligent learning tutors, AI-powered, are valuable, but must be integrated into broader strategies. Critical thinking and integration: evaluate AI recommendations, ensure they align with educational goals, adapt AI-generated content, customize it to fit your classroom unique context, reflect and iterate continuously, assess AI effectiveness, and make adjustments as needed. Interactive content, AI boosts engagement with dynamic learning materials, speech recognition, real-time conversations help students practice language and problem-solving skills. Group collaboration are AI tools organize roles and discussions, promoting structured teamwork. So personalized learning with AI, adaptive learning, AI adjusts tasks based on student performance, personalized feedback, AI provides real-time feedback, enhancing student understanding, learning analytics, AI help identify learning patterns to offer tailored intervention. So AI can't replace the emotional intelligence, creativity, or personal interaction that teachers provide. Teachers nurture critical thinking, empathy, and personal growth that are irreplaceable qualities. Let's examine AI implementation in different educational contexts and reflect whether technologies create new opportunities or more barriers for students and educators. Case study 1 in Spain. AI tool help me see challenge visually impaired students struggle with navigation and accessing material. AI powered app using computer vision and machine learning to recognize and narrate objects, text, and other elements. Impact increase student independence and confidence, enhance engagement in academic. Second case study is Math Pathway AI tool with large class size, handled personalized STEM support and engagement of students. AI driven platform, personalized math education based on each student pace and learning style, continuously assessed student progress and powered real time feedback. Significant improvement in math performance with higher engagement, better test scores, and more effective intervention for teachers. Another case study is physical education and AI. Traditional physical education classes did not meet the wide fitness levels of students, so AI system collected fitness data from different devices, customized workout plan, tracked students' progress over time, and it had impact on personalized fitness plans, improved motivation and participation, and teachers could monitor and adjust workout based on the data. So step 1, how you can create a PLP using AI hands-on. First, you will define your learning goals. Second, you will start by identifying your current knowledge level, and then you will create your own personalized learning through step 3, specifying your learning preferences, and step 4, you will give time frame and availability, and step 5, you will just choose assessment methods, and step 6, you will request additional resources. Here is an example prompt, and step 7 is define challenges and barriers, and step 8 is customize and generate content. Example content is given as well for the same. And other examples are adaptive learning platforms like Dreambox, RKNEWTON, using AI personalized learning, AI-powered learning management systems, Moodle and Canvas to provide AI-powered analytics and content recommendation. AI chatbots like IBM Watson Assistant and Microsoft's Bot Framework can be used to create AI-powered tutors and virtual assistants. AI-based content creation tools like OpenAI GPT for content summarization and personalized content creation. Now we will hear what a running commentary on this same topic says. Listen.
The large language model to be passed through convention, like reset, which is fine. And let's face it, what exactly is happening? Is it a real map? Right? Or we thought to think about bigger things, or are we quietly outsourcing the required factor? Well, cutting edge research.
It really is defining collision of hard areas. And to look at it properly, we do have to have an idea that artificial intelligence is like, oh, really fast switches for an upgraded calculator. Right. How much better way to think about AI, at least the context of learning, is as the cognitive access.
Like that.
Yeah, you got it. Physical exoskeleton allows you to lift muscle to reduction muscles, which, is bigger for. But if you wear it every single day, your actual biological muscles will eventually atrophy.
Because they are inconsistent.
Exactly, because they're no longer experiencing that. So today, we're exploring this deeply insightful research. It's titled AI Do It by Dr. Simon Onche.
That's awesome.
It is, and our today to play beyond simple categories. We're looking at how to use the cognitive access rather than intellectual access.
Yeah, it's really fine. We're using all the high level data, examining foundational theories of unique actual knowledge, and also at the level of really specific real world case studies across the world. And finally, we're practical how to use it. What actually is it? And what's the study from? You like learn.
19 minutes are really having your favorite session. Exactly. You know, you have a right process of anything. And that the losses appears are necessary. They somehow regulate the similar access to it's education, not a near transition task, but a lifelong process to learn more to stakeholders. They are learning to know, learning to do, learning together, learning to do.
So learning to know, that's all we're doing.
Yeah, classic model.
After that, I'm really told people. But
of course, data application services, and that is a second learning. This is the only idea beyond. So it's different technology. And actually, exactly, the application theory. And for most languages, you have to prioritize for putting together these methods and tests.
But the third one is where things go down to. So learning to that's not participating cooperatively in all the stuff. And the other understanding the resources.
Yes, such power.
Exactly. And the fourth learning to me is essentially also the entire process of your personality, your autonomy, your personal responsibility, stimulation of your full
and how you education those pillars, the threat of artificial intelligence as you can show. Well, everything about how you talk about, you're all very wonderful right now. Discussion of many of the technologies. If you probably use these type of learners for what appears to be essentially high but the speed of whole part meaningful is authentic and correct.
Right. The issue around this type of comparison as well. Because we learn about it, we think you have to do it.
What am I doing?
That's the actual thing that is learning. The source actually contacts us is very modern strategy. Yes. Think about your learning to probably probably vessel trying to recruit egos, frustrated and like students. Slow and fast. The rest is cheap. Your body working on. So you just perfect way to
and the discussion there is just a why we spend frustration on this paper. When the machine prevention types. But look around with that. Civic is means civic how to rewire the first students. But this is what the machine does. Just keep having all the reason. The events that requires translating out the physical environment. That messy process. Actually,
I know that was speaking fast, because the machine doing something probably just say that's hard. Right. You don't have to use it. Cycle. Just as so I'm just reading something much higher level.
It's example of that is actually exactly how the policy will when you calculate the mechanism of support, I calculate these right. When you calculate the term for the math number, we're able to do a competition. Exactly. How we use our systems by foundation tests and internet without getting a full test. We're not taking time. We're able to calculate our foundational habits for all. So that's all we're going to do. That you can change that. Right. You just accomplish these elements. One way is like but you may not be able to rank up.
Exactly. And that results in a problem society. The learning requires the friction of however we measure if a piece of technology doesn't make better or it's just even more for us. Is geez, you feel like you need robust analytical frameworks to evaluate each technology. Learning is or assuming the student learning about that. Also, perhaps easy. Exactly. And so two rapid frameworks to try the different they are several things to do. Let's use the sample first. This is the evaluation sample. It's a sample as the yes. Automation, and VW. This is a tools I use to get out to see the in anywhere.
In similar, in your medical and total such information. So there is something else. This is what technology has direct substitute for reuse, but absolutely no.
So example,
imagine you're sending out now I look at that actually before. This is the
perhaps there's execution of these that's allowed for dyslexia. So some people ask me and answer questions. These things, but the knowledge is given on the ability to
For example, now, those first levels, substitution and modification are generally certain. When you use next level modification, we also use critical professional. Exactly. Use like hands and back to the incorporation technology now allows us to redesign the activity.
also these analogies.
But let's say your business was very simple. Under modifications, you might support on shared cloud-based software. Their peers and features review notes. They can suggest edits simultaneously and will be able to spread the
Well, see, something is also said.
Right, it is a dynamic collaborative process. The technology is trying to modify the framework.
Finally, we should have something like definitions. This sort of technology allows for creation of new tasks. Previously, everything is equal. So the assignment is one role overall.
What is it?
It says AI and like the collaborative able to flash out the task. And the other dynamic interact visual scenes supporting all this for honest.
Wow, yes. We have just both technology to experience the medium learning. Sarah really interested in teachers and present at our which is using that our classes on to exactly what you do. Or we define boundaries for software. The sure patch. Sarah only has capability of technology. It's not just having inside the
So bear in mind, this is with digital influence as well.
Yes, everyone's in education class capability of technology.
Right, class.
In fact, each time education will remote working skills are targeted for. Which is something great. Massive digital business is second.
At that space, we have to go for right. Digital was made. I like that. This one point for example, is easy and it's
Very well.
then as we understand the kind of increases like digital to like or somebody longer using line. Yes, or explain how to do it. Let's see the data you're asking says.
And cross acquisition next level. This whole thing, right? Using like content to platform, sharing resources with crucially, so you can like offer AI.
But it's just pretty fine.
Right, you have higher goal to administer to results.
Yeah, that's the thing. Next level is this is where you'll understand.
Yes.
The digital works here involve deep media, dirty marketing sets, organizing this piece of information, and finding patterns using other tools. You are actively reaching out, understand these concepts.
And one of that is the value. This is a highly sophisticated audience. It involves routine source files, image content, judgability of AI generated content, testing software, depending on your context, and value data.
You are being informed of the basic criteria. Exactly. It's a very good high score. Digital works are design interface, system required, planning campaign, and then workflow, programming software, produce podcasts, or blog original apps. You set aside below to produce entire new original work.
And profound insight also shows how these frameworks scale and digital technology absolutely must adapt. Right, because you have those technology world operating at the national level. But it's used for our websites. Here's how to remember it. It's very easy to produce lower.
I will do that correct. Please platform 2. Okay. The sound is engine technology. It indicates how powerful our capability. You have your tools. But digital taxon is steering wheel and roadmap insights. Right. You have a massive additional input, but this is used for the world. Here's right one more part.
Right, so that's really
You need both. You need transformative technology here. They got design that really forces students to work high coordination and
that analogy pretty illustrates the potential basic. And this brings us to a rather uncomfortable style organization. Well, there's even great structure. I don't know if they ever know. We are inside our technology. But they never know what this Wi-Fi cell phone is. But they probably know it's gone.
It's a very topic.
Exactly. Things digital data.
Right. We know this concept. Yeah, it's exactly what technology way.
But software, when they talk about it full on, right? Explicitly highlights how digital data is very research.
Digital data.
Yes. And that digital data is not the most favorite subject matter. Yes, that equals digital work. Not all. But that's really biased. You might be looking at all these work that mechanical technical skills, nothing. No one has to be able to or navigate all that interface. Other than they're user based. Exactly. It's not always with deeper logic.
Which comes out because anyone who's reading just as much people can see about the operating system does not. Does not mean that studies understand how that affects the release the system part.
Right.
The source reference is typical. Which is digital is as but as we set competencies and details required to see that in visual.
And that's like you're reading a big content framework.
The content framework is very rigorous. Defining digital systems across 5 pillars and then figure out how that affects.
Let's explore these because they really back off the digital and
The pillars information data. This is what I'm just questions.
that is the ability to locate access filter and quickly evaluate information. As soon as you even do the knowledge that commercial, you have literacy trace comments that can they analyze it and evaluate credibility?
Wow, that's rigorous. Because that collaboration and communication. That's interacting, sharing data, like previous technologies. Crucial. Also managing plugins and editing software. Right. If you understand the way you communicate and everyone has to different is one that we can understand like the professional record for. Is the active awareness of digital channel.
Another part is digital content creation. This involves knowing and agreeing concepts, but it's how we go through that.
That is like
But those learners understand copyright. They understand business. They understand foundational logic programming. Even if they aren't software.
it's about respecting users.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to see. And this goes way beyond just having faster updated software.
Which is why I want
Right. It's data privacy sure, but also explicitly includes physical, psychological, well-being, and understanding environmental factors.
Yes. No one wants to how it is actively using IT is a important component of digital.
That is that. I work also. This is the ability to identify these, make use of technology, solve problems, and perhaps support recognizing their own competence.
Yes. Especially the digital business that we do not know. We don't have to see that knowledge.
Now, that work was already asked to teach me a lot. But when using proposed general artificial intelligence, that ended. The difficult multi-dimension.
There we go.
The source of one's rapid growing needs to say AI that is special. And these are the factors here. Software and only all the competition.
Let's take specific AI literacy because you really understand the new frontier education. The first AI literacy is content and ability to really explain how AI knowledge export things. You don't need to your internet. You must understand black box. You need to understand develop and it's specifically work based on fast training, not only object.
Right. So it's something that is the ability to use these tools and that one command. So it's something useful and must be cost the master required. It is third is the ability to find the library that's very sensitive to financial rather than other ones.
That is the fourth AI literacy that is most critical and most technological. It is the content ability to select on your own AI understanding and to learn how our individual society or using AI in that way.
So that is
Exactly. Everyone learns content AI evolution.
that one of subjects is profound. It's high personal relevance. You might be clearly identity actually. I actually brought the AI migration to the idea of this. The AI is about you for the sex. So you then have to feel cheap. But you have the AI literacy self-reflection.
Right. Do you know how to outward wave such as like specific robots?
Exactly. Do you know this something like brand new does it in the embedded screen set?
Do you know which one of the technologies know? We just learned about how to how
Exactly. One trust how to ask possible issue.
it is also application questions. I guess you have first the outside like robots, not the one easy for the digital. The digital data is actively used.
You just also here.
It also has the ability the burden abilities of these fairly uninteresting science education.
Which brings us to the core object. Yeah, if you have built complex philosophical AI literacy, how do you design this digital platform? This is a piece of the entire time. And it goes first. The architecture AI is unique.
The digital more systems. It states in bold terms, your head to success of AI in
It collaborates.
this is a very software methods and concepts. But every version has also highly efficient technology is studied.
And the source outline how this AI is highly specific modern response. Let's get to the platform where AI moves projects. Okay. So the original place platform, if you use it out in first time, brought up and then goes on to the
But also,
the flip model versus to source electron and the working class where you have
AI is not practical. AI is not practical. Yeah, the video positive microwave FP concept is like to real-time operation.
I think that this class next.
Exactly. On the super right, you don't need that dashboard show exactly what the super
So you should know what's now that we're happy for now.
instead, it's like high getting either activities based on lab problem solving based directly.
That is right. We have these in this box, it's complex and real world. Let's say class task design single remarks clearly. AI operates open system matter. If you cross fast enough about data, versus analysis and summarize useful signals.
But the system is entirely on teacher's ability to guide you in.
Yes. Teacher manages collaboration, forces this question idea, and forces data building on the factors on their tables. The AI space the teacher guides.
I love it. The AI simulates the teacher guiding them. We see only that teacher plays. It's super early. They also create interactive academic content. Project throughout the operation. But as it's how it's always last. The learning only selects human teachers to nurture a simulating motion seeking environment. The teacher process of using solving creative solution. Intended to gain physical work.
And finally, there's another one. It's the delivery research online online. AI is really everything.
It really is.
It provides so much information. Digital content as a weaver. But as a teacher who serves the analyst, who should like to write a personalized export the one that takes us to the
And so all the company well describe critical operational framework ideas. The continuous cycle of thinking in AI.
It was
You can support your process. Evaluate that factor first. You have one idea that AI doesn't matter. You can evaluate output to ensure actively like your true underlying visuals. The text like other column weight and apps necessity of design.
right. Second, with that,
Because AI doesn't exist. Ever, you reflect and you treat every AI person as constantly says AI is actually the reality of when I do yes, this is one information elevating. It forces us to that's the AI intelligent these are AI concepts that personalize real time feedback and adapt to type performance using incredible learning methods. Exactly. And like also that's the content of your into machine. It frees you to do algorithm permanently able to do. No one cannot start as an accident. It can motivate child steering. You cannot contextualize its level within the whole framework of the cannot value emotional depth. Teachers not expect. They are the master of that. Teaching experience learning. Right, so physical education has a standard education curriculum. The impact of and when you talk about the profound impact of the massive increases in system and psychology. It completely transferability to age time fascinating the social environment, social all the way around. The artificial intelligence based infection is actively implemented by only accepted areas. Oh, yes. So the school implements a solution, an AI-driven platform called Math. This is where you see eventually to concept action. This tool personalized method based on guests to the face, so or sensitive responses. Yes, so I have to assess the and regular. Right, you'll see that, and then based on the based on the the AI will scale the teacher and I love that. And he's agreed because the domain of school never associate our children. Physical education takes the value China is real. It's one side of all this also. You don't want to using that when you're going to define challenges there. Now, this is so I don't know as I see it, so I need to generate comments. And so I think because time is based on the dynamic is so easy to my guy is so very easy and then you have to for face learning it would be because your vision is such an emphasis personal and then on words. Also I'm looking at it just generate percent why is that also because and for me, right, exactly. Right. You understand how to short information, how your focus is based on right. You should just which is AI platform, specifically focused on information, conclude your results and the rest of it. Yeah, it's useful to know. You can't see that's clarity to ask questions. That's exactly but as you said, about 10 people from instant generating science to AI to literally learning this worldwide. You're never necessarily able to access all and information has a right find It's systematic system administrative for broadcast that industrial education is used for students like 50 identical literature classes like that. It's certified for only using team that provide. Clear that rational.
There is multiple profound promise of this technology is not replaced with user. It is a evaluation of user role development process. This is incredibly deep rooted. Starting there, teachers to this and we examine the real positive data that machines are still workforce.
Cognitive access.
Right. We barely, for example, lose this understand how we're seeing that technology is released to apps for actively defining the
Very hard to understand again.
Exactly. We systematically check the basic benefits between real life technological requires deep potential philosophical behaviors.
Easy to develop.
Travis described reasons where AI is actively researching to study that. And learn how to master proper and personalized algorithms and learning patterns all while using force beautiful irreplaceable human education.
It is a massive concept program. It always blends nuances. Intentional thought, always practice research is about human stuff. Studying by students, frequency, and identity, or looking at magic code like graph, understand something about AI with use technical work.
And for easy understanding fun, absolute massive together. So most of this is very but I'm very fast fine presentation. They tend to use this over ease. PS. All users use this for AI.
It's a really highly provocative test. Implementation anything designed to develop and use learning. Cognitive and physical use all the time visualize efforts. Where that be online for online creation and tools users.
That's the million.
The next step is other than email or presentation or online. Getting out of our people not very hard.
Did you learn what you should